Hey everybody, the Boyle's back in town. The Boyle's back. Well, I was actually still here.
Yeah, you were in town.
I was in bed.
Back in his house. Down here at the powerhouse of love, right?
Oh, you know it, man. Man, welcome everybody to the Power Hour of Love. I'm Charboil, and this is
El Bandito.
Oh, yeah, man. It is so good to be back. I missed you guys. You know, definitely I was fighting some nasty funk, but we don't need to get into all that because now is now. I'm here with the Legion. I'm here with El Bandito, and we are ready to rock and roll.
Heck yeah, guys. We have a super exciting program for all you beautiful people out there tonight. We appreciate all the early birds hanging around. Aurelia, our master moderator down there, kicking ass, being amazing. We love you so much. Thank you for hanging out with us. Feel free to throw down that exclamation point mod and give yourself a shout out. Please do the same for Life Reboot, the amazing world-ranked Donkey Kong player who does us the privilege and honor of hanging out here at the Power Hour of Love. J-Dog, what is up, man? Our IRL Legionnaire Supreme, DJ Napalm, hitting the hottest beats and actually throwing me some love for the cool cut I made of our old song. And I'm like, oh, that means so much coming from Napalm. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us on the charity stream and playing some Halo with us this weekend, too. Like I said, we're going to try to rock out some more Halo on another stream just so we can dedicate some more time to playing and hanging out with you, my dude. I appreciate it so very much for all you beautiful people to be here.
And, you know, I missed out on that as well. Like I said, man, I was so sad, man. You know, Game of Thrones, Mr. Fusion, the charity stream, game night, man. But I am back, healthy, ready to rock. And like you said, also, thanks everybody for hanging on out and just being so awesome, man. Like I said, everyone's just, I love you guys.
Absolutely. And as much as I know all the beautiful people would have loved to have had you here, I think you dodged a bullet on that Oreo pork chops.
You know, I was asking you about it. I'm like, I wanted to try it.
Yes.
But, you know, maybe we'll get some other food challenges going on.
Yeah, no doubt, right? But no, we wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who stopped by and who supported and donated. I think we ended up right close to right around $100 that we were able to pump in to Player vs. Hunger thanks to our charity stream for Halo 5 / March Madness that we did over this past weekend. I know J-Dog was hanging out with us. I know DJ Napalm was there. I know Aurelia was hanging with us. I know McPatch has stopped by. I know Life Reboot stopped by. Thank you guys so much for coming out and for everyone who donated that's out there. Golden Girl Bell out there in the chat also threw down a big $30 donation, which we super appreciated. And we do have some other exciting news. Look at that. DJ Napalm hitting up that 50 biddies right there. Thank you so much, my dude. You know what? We're going to make sure that goes right to the charity as well. Thank you for that.
There you go.
But we do have a very, very special brand new segment in the PoDunk News today. It's called our Legion News, and it's where we tell you guys something exciting and awesome that's happening to one of our Legionnaires. So stick around a little bit later, and that's going to be first up in the PoDunk News tonight. It's an amazing, heartwarming, super awesome story that we can't wait to... J-Dog coming in hot with that other 50, my dude. Thank you so much. Again, going straight to the charity. That's the best, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for the games. Dude, thank you. Thank you for coming by and hanging out and jumping in the game and showing me the Super Fiesta mode, which I didn't know was a mode. Did you know that was a mode in Halo 5?
No.
Yeah, when you play multiplayer, I can play Super Fiesta as Bandito.
Man. Well, that... I mean, how can you not get any better than that? So,
heck yeah, dude.
Like you said, we'll definitely be rocking out some more Halo because I know I want to jump in there as the chief and, you know, just blast some aliens and stuff, man. But, man, man. And also, thank you. I want to throw a thanks out to Mr. Fusion for coming in and filling my boots last week on the show. Yeah, it was really awesome.
Mr. Fusion love right there.
Yeah, definitely know that. I know it was a lot of fun.
For all you beautiful people.
Oh, yeah, give it to him. Give it to him, babe. You guys
the
rock.
Legion coming out representing, man. Got to get some Legion love out there. Like I said,
yeah.
we'll have some special Legion news coming up later in the PoDunk news segment today. But we have so much stuff that we're going to cover, guys.
Oh, yeah.
We can't even bother making any more announcements at the beginning of the stream today. We're getting right into it. We're talking Avengers Endgame predictions and wildest theories. We're going to hit the news, and we're going to bounce right into Mortal Kombat 11, talk about the brand new story, the roster, and Senior Bull has picked out the creme de la creme, all-time greatest fatalities, top 5 that we're going to cover tonight. So without any further ado, so that we're not here till midnight, let's get right into it, and we're going to talk Avengers Endgame. Throw some emotes in the chat if you're excited for Avengers Endgame. I know I am, and I'm going to drop those emojis right now. What do you think, Senior Bull?
Drop them like it's hot, man. I mean, we are here. Like, it is like, I mean, I remember like a year ago after seeing Infinity War and being like, man, we got to wait a whole year before we get, the next movie. But, man, it is, this upcoming Friday, man, it's here. It's time to see how it's going to wrap up the Infinity Saga for the MCU.
Absolutely, guys. So it should be a super ton of fun. And what's really interesting about it, right? The most interesting thing to me is just how little we know about Endgame. Like they're playing it so tight to the chest, and they're keeping everything so hush hush that all we really have to go on are these sort of fan theories. So that's what we're gonna roll through with you guys tonight, is a little bit of these fan theories here.
Oh yeah.
Because they're pretty wild, but I think you guys are going to find them pretty interesting, and we're going to see which ones of them actually comes through. Thank you, J-Dog and Golden Girl Bell, for those emotes down there in the chat. Super appreciate it. All right.
Absolutely.
So, I didn't realize that would just make that disappear. Okay. Here, let's keep this around.
Sure.
So, first up, who will die? That's a very, very big rumor going around that one of the big 6, the original Avengers, will actually bite the bullet in Endgame. Now, I think we were all very surprised. We thought some people might get tapped out in Infinity War itself, but I was pleasantly surprised to find that at the end of Infinity War, the original 6 Avengers survived and are basically avenging the other fallen Avengers, which is such a great concept.
It's like poetry. It's got to rhyme.
No
Sorry.
doubt.
No, I know. Very, very bad reference for these awesome movies. But yeah, it's cool.
After a 10-year contract span for Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and Chris Hemsworth, playing Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor respectively, they may be ready to wrap up playing these parts. RDJ and Chris Evans have both spoken pretty openly about it. Chris Hemsworth wasn't even sure if he wanted to return for Ragnarok until Taika Waititi really talked him into it and told him that they were going to go in a whole very different direction. So Demo hanging out with us in the chat. Dude, again, thank you so much for stopping by the charity stream this weekend. Here's some Twitch love just for you. He came and bailed me out when my freaking Halo game was updating and played some Left 4 Dead with me. Him and Spooky Bud as well. She's down in the Legionnaires We Love panel down below if you want to throw her a follow or some likes at some point. Golden Girl Bell is excited to watch Thanos die slowly. Jeez, that's pretty aggressive from a Golden Girl.
That's pretty dark.
It is, but what are your thoughts, Senior Bull? Do you think one of the main Avengers will actually die?
Man, I mean, it's tough to say. If you're going to say which one do I think is most likely to die, I think I'd go with Captain America.
Really? Okay.
Because, I mean, it would definitely be very impactful. Yeah, I mean, all of them would be impactful. But, I mean, it's just like, we know that definitely happened in the comics. So,
not during this story. But during a later story in which specifically Winter Soldier took up the mantle for a while. So did Sam Wilson. So did the Punisher. So there's lots of different avenues that they can go. What do you guys think? Do you think one of the big 3 here or any of the original 6 Avengers might bite the dust on this one? I'm a little worried for Hawkeye. I got to be honest.
That's true.
He's getting up there.
That's true. I know they did mention isn't there going to be like a Black Widow movie or something in the future? So she's got that.
But that's like an origin story.
Oh, okay. So there's nobody's safe.
Nobody's safe, man.
Just like Game of Thrones. Anybody's on the chopping block. But
the other really exciting theory is that no one will die. That Avengers may retire or move on. But this is the one I'm kind of hoping for, but I don't think will happen. Is that they just kind of get back to living a life of some sort. I mean, Cap never really got to live a life, you know, like you feel bad for him. All he's ever known is fighting.
Sure.
You know? But I don't know if he's meant for anything else. I hope he is. So I hope that he can find that sort of peace. Same thing with Tony Stark. Would he be able to pass the Iron Man mantle to someone and actually settle down with Pepper and have kids and all this that they talk about very much in Infinity War? I think that would be really nice.
Absolutely, man. No, I think that would be very cool. And like you said, this is like kind of like the wrap up, you know, so that would be fitting to kind of still kind of have those guys in the you know, if you need in the end.
Yeah, like they could always come back and do a cameo or something, show up for a few minutes and just, you know, pwn some people. Would be great.
Sure.
So yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping for. So we'll see if something like that happens. It's very possible. Maybe, you know, they get to an alternate universe or another time or something and just have a happily ever after. It might be neat. But again, we want to talk about some wild theories. Yes. So let's start getting into some weird stuff, right? So first things first, we've mentioned it a few times, that everyone who we believe is snapped is actually in a parallel universe, right? So our thoughts on Far From Home very much align with that. That like Nick Fury's there, Tony Stark doesn't seem to be there, Pepper's there, Happy's there. You know, so it's like they're showing us all the characters that we kind of know survived the snap. Or not even that we know, that didn't survive.
Yes, the ones that went, yeah.
But we're pretty sure now that Pepper did survive, because it looks like she might be in some of the trailers. So that's kind of poking holes in that theory. But it doesn't mean that Far From Home is specifically set in the parallel universe. Sure. It still could mean that all of these characters are in some sort of parallel alternate reality right now, where they're existing, believing that the other Avengers are the ones who got dusted.
Yeah, no, it definitely is pretty cool. You know, like there's a lot of avenues they can go and then kind of continue a storyline or bring them back in later. But like you said, at the same time, it's kind of a good way to kind of set those guys off to the side for a little bit. You know, if they're in a parallel universe, then we can kind of focus on some of these newer cats.
Yeah, and exactly like you said, maybe these characters, instead of dying, can retire to this parallel universe or defend it, and we kind of never see them again. Mr. Fusion down there in the chat, what is up? Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to get to some Draft of Thrones actions very quick tonight, probably around the news segment, either before or right after, depending on how fast we blow through our Avengers stuff. Next up, really interesting theory, is all the snapped people, are they in the Soulstone?
Ooh,
like that's a very popular theory, that the Soulstone itself actually takes your soul and puts it inside, hence the name, right? And also where this whole scene where we see Gamora talking to Thanos right after the snap, right, has this kind of orange look to it, very much like the Soulstone. So here's Gamora as the young girl that sort of Thanos really kind of remembered and empathized with and everything like that. So is like she's very aware of the situation outside. She knows that the snap happened and asks him, what does it cost you? You know, and then he says everything. You know, so a very famous scene of the movie, but when you really look at the ambiance behind it, it could very easily be inside the Soulstone. And when you think about, okay, so the Soulstone is doing something right now and is like taking Thanos as one of the snapped people and then saying like, oh, well, he's the gauntlet wielder, we'll put him back.
Sure.
You know, but he has this moment to spend with Gamora kind of before that all happens. So certainly a possibility and a very wild theory to think that if they are inside the Soulstone and this is what the Soulstone is like, what are all those people doing?
Oh, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of them in there.
Now, Golden Girl Bell says, what if they all go out in a blaze of glory? Tony, Cap, Hawkeye, Hulk, everybody just releases all their contracts and they bring in all new actors.
Wow.
Well, they've got a whole other phase of Marvel folks that I think they want to focus on more than replacing any of the original actors or their parts. At least that's my hope, that they wouldn't just start swapping in actors back and forth, because that sort of breaks a little bit of the mystique to me on occasion. Now, they've managed to do it pretty seamlessly with, like, Rhodey was obviously recast. Hulk was actually recast from Edward Norton to Mark Ruffalo, and no one really seemed to mind. But at this point, after...
Those guys are cemented in.
They're so established, it'd be hard to get behind any other actor playing Stark or Chris Evans at this point, at least not for a decade or so, where they really would have to be rebooting the whole series. You know?
Yeah, and like, why go that route when it's like this can just be continual, you know what I mean? And really, like you said, get into some real wild mythology of Marvel. But all right, man, so those are two pretty wild theories, like you said. What else we got on the board?
Right. Next up, we got some theories on how the Endgame will resolve itself, right? So first up, Gamora saves the day.
Okay.
Right? So, of course, Gamora is presumed dead, right? So there's a big conflict between whether characters killed before the snap are actually going to be saved by the snap. This, of course, includes characters like Loki, Heimdall, Gamora, and a number of other people who died in between somewhere, right? But Gamora does have the special exception of being traded for the Soulstone. Remember, they're on Vormir, where she takes Thanos, where they meet the Red Skull, and he says, you have to sacrifice something you love to get the Soulstone. But does that mean that she's sacrificed, or she's giving into the Soulstone to manifest its presence?
Okay.
So, considering the previous slide right here, it kind of seems like she's in the Soulstone, right?
Yeah, no, that would definitely give you that impression.
But again, she might be in some alternate sort of pocket dimension that is where the Soulstone was before it appeared in Vormir. So maybe she is the only person there, and that's not technically inside the Soulstone. So pretty complicated when you kind of think about it, right? But ultimately, can she escape whatever plane she's in and be the one person that Thanos kind of cares about and can get close enough to him to actually kill him?
Yeah, it could be. I know she's always said that was her plan, was to get back at him. So, yeah, it would be kind of poetic.
Definitely. And when they're in nowhere, and they believe that he is killing the Collector and still searching for the Reality Stone, but that's really a false reality that he has manifested. Gamora does try to kill Thanos in that moment.
Yes.
And very convincingly she believes that she does until he reveals that he has the Reality Stone and is just faking her out. So it's not impossible that she has the skills to get it done, which is why Thanos cares about her so much in the first place, because when you look at the history of Guardians, right? In Guardians, Nebula is very angry at Gamora a lot of the time because they had to battle each other as children, and whoever lost would get bionically modified to enhance their fighting ability. But when you think about Gamora has 0 cybernetic implants, and Nebula is like more than 50% cybernetic implants, she's becoming less and less of a person because of Gamora, and that's kind of that hatred that they have to settle in Guardians 2.
Yes.
Right? But by the same token, if Gamora is this perfect fighting machine that never loses to her sister or anyone else, then yeah, I could conceive that Thanos does respect her and quote-unquote love her more than any of the other disciples or children that he has.
Yeah, no, I mean, you definitely, like you said, she would be the one that could get the closest, and
probably has the skill to do it.
Sure, and Nebula's still hanging around, right? She didn't get snapped.
Yes, yeah, okay. Nebula's with Stark on Titan. That's where we last saw the two of them.
That's right. That's right.
So they have access to the Guardian ship that's there, which we've seen a lot in the trailers for Endgame as well. So I believe that will all kind of play a part and fall in together. So, yeah, we'll have to see. The other really interesting, really wild theory to me about how to wrap up Endgame. Let's check out Life Reboot. How long do you think it took Doctor Strange to watch all those alternate futures? Dude must be lonely with all that time spent by himself. Absolutely. We have a great theory about that coming up in just a minute. Well, I think we're going to talk about just your question right there. But real quick, the other crazy theory about how this might all end is that Thanos will take back the snap, that he'll see that it actually doesn't work and that he's ruining the universe, and a lot of people are more unhappy than they were happy, and it cost him so much, his empire, the entire Black Order, Gamora, just everything. It cost him everything. He literally says it himself. So will guilt overtake him? Will he have any sort of remorse or repent? What's interesting is the way, if you look at how the Russo brothers have been framing their films, from Winter Soldier and Bucky's redemption story to Civil War and Baron Zemo kind of having this very altruistic reason for doing what he does that he never had in comics.
Sure.
To this movie with now Thanos having this sympathetic motivation, it really feels like they're trying to give him that same sort of humanizing redemption.
Yeah.
Which I don't think Thanos needs personally. Screw the bastard. But
well, it's almost like he gets to that point where you just want to see him get his, but you're right, it could go that way as well.
Yeah, so this to me is definitely a wild theory that Thanos would actually reconsider what he had done and use the gauntlet himself to fix things.
Well, I know a lot of people after seeing Infinity War were like, wow, Thanos, he's not your typical just bad guy. He has a reason for, not even though he's the Mad Titan.
Okay, you want to hear, this is really cool. You want to hear why this theory has any credence at all, the actual evidence behind this theory?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so Thanos is the hero of the story.
Okay.
Right? In his mind, everything that he describes when he talks to people, he always explains how the sun will rise on him and it will be a grateful universe because of what he did. So to him, he thinks that he's the good guy of the story, right? That what he's doing is going to save people ultimately.
Okay.
Because Titan is destroyed because no one did what he did.
Sure.
And when he suggested it, they called him mad and banned him from the planet. Right? But then Titan's destroyed. We see it destroyed.
Yep.
But Gamora's homeworld is supposedly prospering more than ever without half the people there, right? But if Thanos is in fact the hero of the story, right, what nod would Marvel really give us to let us know that that's where they're going with it, right? Well, here's the thing that people have latched onto. I kind of thought it was just a clever kind of pun or spoof kind of at the end of the film. But in every Marvel movie, they have that cool kind of James Bondy tagline at the end.
Yeah,
Where they say the Avengers will return, or Iron Man will return in this, or Thor will return in that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this movie, Infinity War ends with Thanos will return. Right? So is he the hero that's going to come back in the next movie? That's typically what that line is reserved for.
Sure.
So that's kind of the evidence that it's all hinging on, is both what he says in film, how he believes himself to be the hero, and the fact that this one kind of little cheeky throwaway could be something funny that they did does seem to lend credence to the fact that he's the hero that will return in the next film.
It definitely is I mean, this is getting like Game of Thrones deep here, when you start thinking on that level, it's like, to have the roles reversed,
Mm-hmm.
But then of course all the Avengers are trying to take him out, so
Right,
it's like, I could definitely see some, some things there, but you're saying in the final, act that he would ultimately take it all back, like using
or he might take it back in a way that completely screws up everything, and that's why and that might happen in that early part of the film.
Yeah,
and the rest of it will be the Avengers trying to piece back together what the heck just happened.
Because I could be wrong, and I mean, I know there's been a few stories that have kind of gone this way, but I believe Adam Warlock was who had to kind of like put stuff back together when Thanos did this. But I don't think he's going to be popping up. Maybe in Guardians 3, but
let's think about a bit of parallels that they have between characters, because I've thought about that a lot, because that was a huge thing when Guardians 2 came out, Adam Warlock showing up. But Adam Warlock was originally born from the Soulstone in comics, right?
Yes.
So with that being different than the original comics, his character may not have the same kind of weight that he would in the MCU. But who would? Vision, who was born from a different stone, the Mind Stone, that may give him the sort of wisdom or smarts to be able to help defeat Thanos.
That makes sense. I mean, to not have to introduce a whole other character where they kind of engineered it that way.
One of the other wild theories, right, is that at the end of Infinity War, when it's not Ebony Maw, but it's the other kind of wizard elf looking guy. I can't think of his name, but he from the Black Order. He comes in to battle Shuri and try to take Vision, from Wakanda. And when he runs in there, Shuri quickly shuts down the computer where she's trying to copy Vision's consciousness.
Yes.
So the belief the first time I watched the film was that she was unsuccessful at downloading his consciousness, but upon rewatches, I'm pretty convinced that she did in fact download his consciousness, and without any influence from the Mind Stone, there will still be enough Vision left for them to rebuild the character and have him help take on Thanos. And then if he regains the Mind Stone somehow, he will have more power than he did previously.
No,
so
definitely,
crazy theory, but
it would definitely go in line with the parallels from the comics, which, it's never gone the exact line of the comics with the movies, but it usually has some sort of a homage or something that's like, oh, I get what they did there, So that's
it's a wild theory, right? We got a little bit of chat here. So
right.
Democracy says, have we discussed why is it Doctor Strange allowed the Guardians and Tony and Spider-Man to be defeated? No, but we will in just a minute. Like, that's going to couple right into Life Reboot's question and kind of what we think is like the pinnacle of like all fan theories that's actually so good, there's no way it could actually happen, right? But it's such a brilliant theory, and we're going to get to it here in just a minute. We got a couple other little goofy ones, and then we'll get to the kind of the big one.
Yes.
So Ryo Sukihiro, thank you for joining us. I just finished the red carpet for it. Super awesome. How was the red carpet for it? I bet it was really cool. I try to stay away from that stuff too much, but it is interesting to watch the red carpet. I know there's not really a lot of spoilers in that, but that sounds pretty exciting, man.
Well, I know this next one we were going to talk about, El Bandito. Like,
yes.
I think it's interesting, and it definitely kind of like when you start looking to the future for Phase 4, you know, like, you know, a lot of folks have said that there may be some mention or maybe even a cameo or just a quick flash of something that would indicate that the X-Men are coming to the MCU.
Yeah, either the X-Men or the Fantastic Four.
Oh,
given how early they tend to foreshadow those sort of things. We know that the Fox-Disney merger has gone through, and it's very possible that we'll be getting all of our MCU family to meet the rest of the Marvel universe and comics. So that'll be really interesting. The one thing I downplay this theory on is the fact that they did not connect any Netflix or Hulu series, not even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They didn't like really put any of that into the mix of Infinity War. So I kind of feel like they're probably going to do the same thing, and
they're going to keep it individualized, and then they can do that later.
Yeah.
No, it definitely makes sense. I know the movie's going to be extra long, but it also is probably every minute's going to count. I mean, I think I even read something that said there's going to be no time for any bathroom breaks.
Yeah, and like a 3-hour movie, oh, that's rough, man.
I know.
That's rough.
But to bring one of those like swimmer things, you know, like what is
it? I think I saw that on Shark Tank one time. A guy built like a suit that you could wear and go to the bathroom. It's so weird. But all right, so the penultimate of bonkers theories. You guys ready for it?
Here it comes.
You ready for it? I don't think you're ready for it, but we're going to jump right into it, right? So Ant-Man is do you want to take this one? This is so right up your alley.
Sure, yeah. I know you want me to take this one. You know, the one that kind of borderlines the TOS on this one. You'd be like, it was that other guy, not me.
I just want you to take it.
Well, if you haven't seen this meme yet, you know, it'd be surprising, or this theory meme.
Yeah.
But people are believing that you said how Gamora could get close to Thanos, right? Other people are theorizing that also Ant-Man could get close.
Yeah, real
close. And enter in the southern orifice to get inside and then grow to his, full size, which would then cause, like a Mortal Kombat fatality, Thanos to explode.
Yes. Now, what's interesting about this theory is it's twofold, right? First off, they literally asked Paul Rudd this in a live interview. Like, look at his reaction here, where he's like, dude, like, really? So, like, Marvel executives have come out and said this absolutely will not happen, and it's ridiculous, right? But on the kind of fun side of it, on the science side, the very popular YouTube channel Because Science dedicated a whole episode to whether or not the ability of Ant-Man to displace matter as he expands would have the tensile strength to destroy or rupture Thanos' colon. Right? Because believe it or not, all it would take is like a simple tear to get a pretty bad infection and kill you in your colon. That is very dangerous and very scary and happens to people sometimes, right? So it wouldn't take much. You wouldn't have to turn into Giant Man and blow him up. He would just have to rupture it, right? But you'll have to check out the episode to get all your facts and science behind it. But from all of the times that we've seen Ant-Man grow large and actually displace objects around him, the most notable points are in the very first film when he bursts out of the ground and throws a bunch of dirt off him, and in Ant-Man versus the Wasp when they enlarge a vehicle underneath a minivan and actually chuck the minivan. In both of those instances, that force is not enough to rupture a standard human colon. So considering Thanos seems a hell of a lot more durable than most people, it kind of really debunks the theory.
Absolutely. And also, if you're going to look at it, we got the Russo brothers, they definitely, want to stay respectable. If it was like, the Parker and Matt Stone, directing it. Sure. Or if it was Deadpool in the movie, I'm sure he would at least suggest it. But
dude, J-Dog coming in hot brings new meaning to tearing him a new one.
Exactly. No, we had to mention this one,
exploring all avenues,
because
it's just so outlandish.
Yeah, and I've even seen cosplays where someone's dressed as Ant-Man, but they have two butt cheeks over their face, and they spread the cheeks and like the Ant-Man faces right there. So I mean, people are definitely like taking this theory to a whole new level. So
no doubt,
had to at least throw it in there.
All right. So holding out for a hero, another popular fan theory, of course, is that we've seen that the Avengers may actually make a trip through time to the original Avengers film in 2012, The Attack on New York, right? Now, this could be a flashback rather than actual time travel. But because Ant-Man is present on some of the set photos, they believe they're actually traveling back in time to these events. at which time they may be able to further question Loki about Thanos or give him some sort of information that will make him able to stop Thanos in the future, thus possibly saving his own life, even though he was killed pre-snap.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, when you start messing time travel into things,
possible.
I mean, yeah, it enters a whole new wormhole.
Dude, Demo just hit that too. That's no wormhole.
There you go. Demo knows what's up.
Heck yeah. But okay, but talking about time travel,
exactly.
Let's get into this one here, the penultimate fan theory that I've read and was just like, this is so mind-blowingly good, right? Okay, so a lot of what they talk about hinges on time travel as far as speculation goes to the next film, especially when you consider some of the trailers and such that we've seen so far where they show the characters going out into space to go and hunt Thanos and things like that, but they're going to undo the snap. So they either have to get the gauntlet and snap everyone back into reality, or they have to go back in time somehow to stop Thanos from ever doing it in the first place. Those are kind of your two options, right? So if we take the first option and we talk about them just going to do this and all that, there's a very kind of big plot hole here in exactly what Demo mentioned. Like, why then did Strange feel like he had to let everyone get killed and turn over the time stone in the first place? Was he really just that compassionate for Stark that he wasn't going to let him die? I highly freaking doubt it. I really think he would have had no problem letting Stark get killed to defend the time stone, because even Thanos, with the power of the other stones, would have had a difficult time at the very least cracking this protection spell that even his master sorcerer Ebony Maw couldn't crack, and was afraid to kill Strange without cracking. So it had a really, really great protection spell on it. So what was Strange so afraid of? Was he worried about Tony dying? So Life Reboot brought up the fact that he saw all of those alternate futures, right? How long do you think it took Strange to watch them? In the film, they show Strange sitting off by himself for only a matter of about 5 to 10 minutes while Iron Man and Peter, Spider-Man, are talking to the Guardians and trying to formulate a plan with them. And then it's Mantis who says, like, dude, what's your friend doing? And he's over there looking like Beetlejuice, like looking crazy. And he tells him, I'm looking at all the different possible futures, right? But here's this really wild theory, okay? So why did everyone there have to die for that to happen, right? Well, let's consider what they told us in the Doctor Strange film, right? The Ancient One, right, actually has a conversation with Doctor Strange explaining that she has used the time stone several times to look into the future, but has never been able to see past the point of her own death.
Okay.
So how did Strange look at 14 million futures in which they lost? He had to look at 14 million futures in which he died, right? So the only way for him to have seen all of those futures and to see beyond the scope of the events which led to the snap or Thanos' plan was to actually create a time loop, much like he did to battle Dormammu. So imagine Doctor Strange setting up that time loop right there at that moment on Titan before they ever confronted Thanos. Then he literally lives through 14 million variations of time, right? Or gets snapped or killed somewhere along the line, but then it just resets the timeline. And he has to go back over and over again trying to defeat Thanos. Sometimes he may live, sometimes he may die, but he's not actually looking into the future because they told us the time stone can't, right? But he's living through all of those time loops over and over and over again. So he realizes that the best way to defeat Thanos by either undoing what he did or by traveling and getting the gauntlet and undoing it, right, is to have the people who are alive. Like, they're giving them the best chance and everyone else doesn't matter. So he's literally only sparing the people needed to get to the end game, to get Thanos' plan undone.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, so he's like, need him, don't really got him. Okay, get that guy.
Yeah. He realizes he doesn't need himself. Wow. He doesn't need to be part of the plan. But Stark has to survive. So he trades his life for Stark, you know, basically telling him, like, if you promise to save him, I'll give you the time stone. That almost guaranteed I'm dying, but Tony's going to live.
Sure.
Right? So that's kind of the trade-off that he made. So
I think that's a pretty wild theory, but like you said, it has so much logic behind it. Like you said, it's probably not going to happen. But it definitely, you know, that's pretty cool.
Well, because there's some speculation regarding the fact that they may have used, Strange may have used the Time Stone to actually manipulate time or travel through time or anything like that. But they've never really kind of shown us that ability, that the Time Stone can do that. Like, you can rewind and play forward time, but they haven't shown you actually able to travel to another point in time.
It's kind of like Thanos in Infinity War. He's like, I can play the time game too.
Exactly. Look at that. LeShoe's joining us out there. Floor's joining us. Hello, hello. Yeah, the snap had to happen so that the surviving peeps would have the drive to undo it, I guess. Yeah, maybe either the drive or the ability to actually be able to undo it. Nolsvin out there, thank you for joining us. Time travel, what can go wrong, says Barry Allen, of course. Life Reboot. Oh, coming in hot with a big comment. Let's check this out.
Awesome. Let's check.
Nice coverage. What about this one? Did you hear the Loki fan theory, where the reason the Hulk cannot transform is because he's actually Loki in disguise? Loki has been dead and mourned before, and it's not beyond him to disguise himself as Banner/Hulk. A supporting detail for the theory is that Banner normally doesn't know what the Hulk has done and vice versa. How can Banner warn everyone about Thanos if he was the Hulk when he had those experiences? So, okay, I'm a big member of Loki's army, right? So I'm going to run down the rabbit hole with you on this one. Part of the thing is this. For one, there are several conversations that will get that theory credence and kind of take it away. The first off saying Heimdall. Heimdall sent Banner to Earth when he could have chosen either of the two princes of Asgard. Very weird fucking move, right? You would think if he was going to call upon the powers of the Allfather to open the Bifrost one last time and spare someone's life, take them away from Thanos and send them to Earth, why would you pick the Hulk who failed? Right? That's a really bizarre and really interesting choice. So that does lead credence to the fact that maybe he knew that really was Loki, and that the guy that was about to die in 2 seconds was just some apparition or some fake, you know, some duplicate.
Master of trickery.
Yes, but then you have to ask yourself, where the hell was the Hulk?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, what's he been up to?
It does make sense of why Loki's line where he says, we have a Hulk, boom, and the Hulk smashes in. Well, where the hell was the Hulk the whole time the rest of the Asgardian people got killed? So if that was a manifestation of Hulk, not only would Thanos be have a very easy time defeating it because it was just an apparition that Loki had created, but it would also fit the timing of why that character came in when it did and not beforehand. So there's a lot of credence going around for that theory. The downsides to it are on the opposite end. Once Banner does get back to Wakanda and he's fighting in the Hulkbuster armor, he has several conversations with the Hulk while he's by himself and no one can see him, which is a really, really wild thing to do if you were Loki and trying to play up this thing. Like, no one can see you, no one cares.
Yes.
But Friday is still part of the Hulkbuster armor. Does Friday record everything that Banner and Hulk is saying inside the suit?
So to kind of keep up the farce.
Yes, to keep up the facade, because no one knows where Stark is.
Yeah.
So he could be watching at any time. And if anyone super hates Loki, it's probably Stark. You know, who he really kind of pissed him off a whole lot.
No,
so
that's true.
Yeah, it's a really good theory. It could very well still be possible, but then we have to ask ourselves, where's Hulk, right? But my other supporting theory as a member of Loki's army who really wants this to happen is that he is with Valkyrie and Korg, who escaped the ship prior to and is taking people to safety, because they mentioned several times in Infinity War that Thanos only killed 50% of the Asgardian people, but where are they?
Yeah.
So did he let 50 people go on a ship led by Valkyrie and Korg before any of these events happen, and Banner slipped away with them, giving Loki the time to manifest this fake Hulk and have this whole altercation? It's a really good theory that could go either way. So I appreciate you bringing it up.
And that makes
F's in the chat for Loki. Yes, please. Thank you.
And that makes sense too, because I mean, you know, like you said, they're floating around out there in that Guardian ship. Someone's gonna have to come kind of scoop them up, you know. So maybe that would be Valkyrie.
Well, the idea is that Loki brought that great big ship that they're all in at the beginning of the film.
Sure,
but Valkyrie and Thor had gone back to Asgard in the Grand Master's personal yacht.
Oh, I got you.
So those two ships were present, right? So they could have taken the remaining 50% of people on the Grand Master's ship and taken them away, as Thanos said, okay, you're the half that survives, get out of here. You know?
Okay.
And they just didn't show us that. So again, it's a theory. We don't really know. I know we got some other big comments here. I want to read them here. So let's see. Floor says, initially, I thought that the Ant-Man being stuck in the quantum realm
Oh, I thought you were going to go somewhere totally
different.
different.
No, it's okay. While the snap happened is what made him survive. But that has been confirmed to be untrue. See, now that's interesting because I have heard that per comic book canon, the effects of the Infinity Gauntlet only work in a realm that it is present in. So not necessarily the 9 realms that they speak about in Thor, because that's part of the universe. But the quantum realm is technically a separate universe, and the effects of the gauntlet only work within the universe that it resides in. So I've heard completely the opposite. So I'm not sure where you saw the confirmation for that. But whether it was luck or the fact that he was in the quantum realm, we're going to find out, and that's like a huge thing that people have been hotly debating. Like, will they be able to use the quantum realm to travel through time as opposed to using the time stone or anything like that? Because we know that there are all these sorts of time fissures inside the quantum realm, right? So now think about when we see this is the last like kind of really big thing. When we see Scarlett Johansson, the Black Widow's character, she has 3 different hairstyles throughout the course of the film. Right? So the first one being the post-Infinity War, the center one being sometime later where her hair is still blonde, and then finally where it's getting dyed back red, or growing out back red, you know? So here's the thing. If these events are happening in chronological order, then the scene that they show them in their spacesuits, right, is later in the film than when they first go to space with Rocket in his ship, because she has the post-Infinity War haircut. Cap is still wearing the raggedy suit. And they go out to space. They don't get the fancy spacesuits till later. So where are they going in the fancy spacesuits? They don't need fancy spacesuits to go into space.
I got
because they went to space already. So are the fancy spacesuits supposed to protect them from losing their marbles in the quantum realm?
Man, no, it definitely, it really, like you said, no, that makes sense. Like you said, it's like if they can't get the time stone, they got to figure out another way to get there.
No doubt. All right, so Fleur's got one more big comment in here. I want to get it in. But in Ant-Man 2, Michelle Pfeiffer's character said something about time vortexes. Yes, you're right, time vortexes. So my bet is Ant-Man somehow traveling to the past and giving them the necessary info to stop Thanos. Yes, exactly. You know, I think the linchpin to the whole thing is going to be Loki, that they're going to go back to New York, be able to talk to Loki about it because he knows Thanos, and he has a moment where he's very close to him on the bridge of that Asgardian ship. Whether or not that they do something at that moment or have Loki do something before then, I don't know. You know, but we'll have to see. But I definitely think there is going to be some time vortex action coming into play, and I do believe that it was the quantum realm itself that either protected Ant-Man, but how did he get out of there then, you know? Because that was like a dicey situation. We know he's escaped before on his own, so it's not totally unlikely. But
he seems like he shows up at their the compound. Like, it's not like they helped get him out.
Remember me? I was really huge that one time. So the Avengers aren't helping him get out. So Life Reboot says, love it. Thanks for indulging me. Absolutely, man. We're glad you're psyched about the film. Thanks for indulging us. I'm obviously a bit of a nerd about this stuff. So
no, I knew it was coming, man. You know, we got Endgame's right around the corner, man. We had to talk about it.
Now, Floor says also Valkyrie was suspiciously not mentioned in Infinity War, so she's definitely alive, right? I believe she's actually featured on an Endgame poster. Like I saw that on the internet. I didn't really confirm it or check into it too much because again, I was trying not to spoil myself too much, but I believe she is actually featured in an Endgame poster somewhere. So that's pretty interesting.
Man, all this talking about game, man. Man, we still got our Draft of Thrones, Game of Thrones, and we're going to be talking about a new upcoming game, Mortal Kombat 11, which releases tomorrow. And man, we're going to also be counting down my top 5 favorite fatalities.
Oh, absolutely, man. We got so much more to get into. Thank you guys so much for getting hype about Avengers Endgame. If you're hype, throw some emotes in the chat. I'm going to throw you guys some love out there for hanging with us and having some fun. Let's get some Stronger Than Steel love out there for all you beautiful people having some fun with
Iron Man.
Exactly, dude. Some Iron Man hearts right there. I'm so hyped. Can't wait for Thursday. Absolutely, man. I still have to try to get some early tickets. I've been so lazy about it this year, but I got to go ahead and do it. Like our local theater is pretty great about that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to see if I can still get some tickets to get in there either Wednesday or Thursday. But I will say this, like Senior Bull said, this weekend with the launch of Endgame and the 3rd episode of Game of Thrones dropping, where it really seems like a lot of people are going to get killed. There's going to be a lot of probably feels over this weekend. So I hope the Legion's all prepared for it out there. But for the time being, We're going to jump into some PoDunk news. We're going to tell you what's going on elsewise in this crazy, wacky PoDunk world. Then we're going to jump into really quick doing some Draft of Thrones info, let you guys know who's in the lead, and a couple of fun little things happening this week. But we'll wrap it all up with some Mortal Kombat 11 talk. Going to be super fun.
Let's do it.
All right. Oh, I guess I have to turn my slides off. Hold on.
Oh, that's all right. Now here we go. Now we're going to do it.
PoDunk News.
Aurelia feels bad, man. Yeah, the batter for Winterfell looks crazy. Floor says got tickets like 2 weeks ago. I was only bummed that IMAX only had 3D showing, which I really don't like. I agree with you. I'm not really a big
not a
3D
huge
guy.
fan.
I have a bad lazy eye. Obviously, Senor Bull wears glasses, so we don't really get into 3D too much.
You know it, man. No, definitely. But it's going to be an awesome film regardless.
Heck yeah.
If I could only see it in 3D, I'd go see it.
Yeah, well, I'd love to see it in IMAX. Like, our IMAX is kind of far away and, like,
Yeah.
always packed because it's in, like, the big city area here. So, like, I tend to shy away from it because we went to see, what was it, The Dark Knight?
Yes.
In IMAX? Dude, we literally had to sit in the front row all the way to the left. Dude, is that Mr. Fusion coming in hot with a sub right there?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, thank you so much, Mr. Fusion. You're the man, dude. Some sub hype.
Woo-hoo.
Let's get those emotes in chatty. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you so much. Some Legion
love.
hearts right there. Some
Yeah.
Iron hearts for you. Let's get Mr. Fusion some classic hearts.
There you go.
Coming in
Classic.
hot from the old school, man. I appreciate that so much.
Absolutely, man. He's got a big heart and definitely plenty of game.
Heck yeah. Life Reboot says in my metro area, people are selling tickets for $200. Oh my God. Scalpers. Bastards. I'm going to have to wait. Sold out everywhere. Yeah. The other thing me and Senor Bull like to do is like Sunday morning at our local theater, they have tickets for like $4.
Oh, yeah.
So we go to a lot of movies.
Not
like,
a lot of people
there's
there.
like 8 old people that you're there with. And that's it. You know, you're like 10:30 in the morning on a Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And no one's there, you know? IMAX 2D is super cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. So we had to sit in the front left.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And like the screen touches the ground to the ceiling. So
Yeah,
we were watching
exactly.
a whole movie like that, man. It's terrible.
Following the action.
Oh,
we're like, man,
gosh.
where's Necker?
And I don't know if you remember, but remember only half that movie was filmed at IMAX?
Yes.
So it would like letterbox like part of the way through the movie, like
Yes.
every like 15
Yes.
minutes or so. That was so crappity, man. But hey, they did the best they could. It's budgetary constraints. I understand.
Absolutely.
So it's all good.
Man.
All right, but
it was an experience, that's for sure.
Mr. Fusion, thank you so much for that sub, dude. You know, we appreciate it more than you guys will know. Every dime we get is either going to go to this amazing charity or going to go to making this the best experience it can be for all you beautiful people out there. But tonight, we have got a very special Legion news segment. That's right. We're going to tell you guys about one of our Legionnaires who actually did something so amazing that they made the freaking news. Are you psyched about this?
Oh,
Senor
man,
Bull?
I am stoked. I heard a little tidbit, but I got to hear this whole story.
All right. So, as you guys know, over the weekend, we did our March Madness Halo 5 charity tournament, and we did it representing Aurelia's campaign for Player versus Hunger. Well, Aurelia picked up her regular Saturday night stream and rocked out some Beat Saber.
Oh, yeah. Always a good time.
Yes. I wrote this down. I want to read it the way I
Do
wrote it
it.
down.
No,
'cause
no,
it
take
was,
your
like, nice.
time.
You know? Okay. So Aurelia's charity campaign for Player versus Hunger, right? It's still ongoing right now, right? This is a wonderful charity, right, where it helps support the over 20% of children here in the United States that are suffering from food insecurity. They do not know where their next meal is coming from. You know, over the summertime especially, kids who get free lunches at school, and sometimes that's the only meal they have, now suddenly have no food. So Player versus Hunger is an organization that helps find food for these children, right? But they do so much more than that. They also help the over 5 million Americans, seniors here in the United States that are over the age of 60 and are also food insecure, but they help them in a very special way. They bring them the things that they need to help continue to feel self-sufficient and cook their own food.
Okay.
You know,
Very
so
cool.
they're not just giving them handouts or making them feel like they're needy. They help them get back on their feet and find a way to continue to cook for themselves, you know, and have their independence and keep an eye on that. So it's so amazing, right? But this charity is ongoing. You can stop by Aurelia's page at any time or click on our donation panel here at the Power Hour anytime for the rest of the month of April, and you'll be able to still donate to this campaign. Just $6 can provide up to 3 meals for someone in need. So it's a great, great, fantastic cause. We raised about $75 to $100, somewhere right in there for the charity.
Awesome.
And we went ahead and just kicked the full hundo over to Aurelia for that. Right? But That's thanks to all you beautiful people. Demo out there, J-Dog, DJ Napalm, Golden Girl Bell. So many people coming out and throwing some love, man. We super appreciate it. But like we said, we rated Aurelia's normal Saturday night stream that night, right? Letting her know that she had now reached a goal of 150 meals for Player versus Hunger, right? So guess who actually showed up during her stream?
Who's that?
Player versus Hunger themselves.
Themselves? Like the actual organization?
Yes, the actual organization showed up, right, in the chat, started saying hellos, thanking Aurelia for her Tiltify campaign and for supporting them.
That's awesome.
So Player versus Hunger went on to offer a T-shirt for Aurelia to give away live on stream, right? And Aurelia became the first streamer that Player versus Hunger has ever followed, right?
Awesome.
So all of the rest of the admins from their Discord showed up on the stream, all followed Aurelia, right? And the CEO of Player versus Hunger shows up on the Twitch stream and follows Aurelia.
That's awesome.
Right?
Couldn't have happened to a better streamer. No, that's
absolutely,
awesome.
Dude. I mean, absolutely 500th dono milestone, right? They came in and told her, right, that Julio Redwood, right, Spooky Butt's, significant other right there, her SO, right? He was the one who donated the 500th donation that they had ever received on Tiltify, and it was part of Aurelia's campaign. So they came by to kind of check that out and congratulate her, and we're like, hey, we love your stream. It's amazing. They had a super ton of fun. They hung out the entire stream that she was doing, right? And at the end of it, like I said, offered her this T-shirt to give away to one of her followers, or one of her viewers right there. And then on top of that, right, they got her in contact again with the CEO, Sylvia Deo, right? And Aurelia will now most likely be working hand in hand with Player versus Hunger in the future as one of their kind of support sponsored-ish charity streamers, you know, like she's got
That's
the
fantastic.
in, you know, so it's like
very cool.
Yeah, next level stuff going on there, and we're just super excited for her. And it was so amazing for us to just have a small part in that, you know, because they were blowing up her tweets and stuff like that, and I was looking at it and I was
fantastic.
like, dude, you know, like like they liked our tweet about doing the charity thing, so I'm sure that like they saw, hey, this is Aurelia's campaign, we got to go check this streamer out, and then bam, they're like, everything that you are doing is fantastic, you know, and I was so glad just to be in there moderating, you know, and just having fun.
Sure.
And it was just amazing. It was an amazing stream. It's an amazing experience. Aurelia, you did an amazing job. You've absolutely crushed it. You're reaching up to that next level. I wish you nothing but success. And if you need anything from me, from the Power Hour of Love, you absolutely let us know, because we will be there for you 1,000%. You've done nothing but help this show grow and have fun and interact with Twitch and be so much more than we ever thought it could be, that we would like nothing more than to give back to you, especially during an amazing opportunity like this that you cultivated for yourself, you know, so congratulations.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Ori. Like I said, that's fantastic news. Like I said, he gave me a little tidbit before the show, but I didn't hear the whole story, so that's really fantastic.
And I see she's blowing up our chat down here like, I'm dead. This is so super awesome. Crazy well done. Life Reboot says, holy F, I can't believe I missed it. Floor says, Mr. Fusion says amazing. DJ Napalm, yay, Aurelia, throwing down some bloop bloop bloops down there. Heck yeah, let's get some bloop bloop bloops down there for Aurelia. Let's see some emotes for her down in the chat. Come on now. She's our #1 Twitch Legionnaire. Look at that. 40 more bits going to the charity right there. We appreciate that so much, J-Dog. You're the absolute best, man.
So cool.
Some Legion love for all of our wonderful supporters out there who made this happen. It's because of you guys donating and supporting Aurelia and us that this happens, man. Y'all in chat, y'all are the bomb. Aurelia, you're the bomb. Keep up what you're doing. You know, you do your streams and give so much just to be able to give back to people. That's an amazing sentiment. It's something I look up to as an individual, just that I'm like, I stand beside myself in awe of someone who would do that. Like, that's fantastic, because I know how much work it takes to put on this stream. I'm sure a lot of other people do, you know, and for you to do that with the sole purpose of giving to other people is truly heartwarming, you know? So if you didn't have enough firsts, you're the first Legionnaire to ever be featured in PoDunk News. So there you
go. With that Legion news. I dig it. We're definitely going to have our eyes open for more awesome things that are going on with the Legionnaires. You know, we'll have to throw it on in there as well. But, man, I do know there's some wild PoDunk news going on out there, too. So we're going to roll on into that. Once again, congratulations, Ori. Awesome news.
Yes. Congratulations. Some last bit of Twitch love for you, and we'll move on.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So tonight's top stories. We've got some wild stuff going on. Let's take a peek at it. First and foremost, it's Showtime Halo. That's right. Showtime has a brand new live-action Halo TV series, right, that has taken a decisive step forward, casting Pablo Schreiber as its lead. If you guys are familiar with him, you may know him from Porn Stash in Orange is the New Black, or he was in Blink on HBO and did a number of other fun shows, right, and parts. So he's going to play the elite soldier known as Master Chief. Ooh. And also John 117. He has been thread running through the 26th century sci-fi universe of the Halo franchise since its 2001 debut as Halo Combat evolved through the upcoming entry Halo Infinite. Right? Wow. So the character of Master Chief never shows his face on screen, and it's unclear whether or not the actor will do so or if it will be mostly CGI anyways. We do know that there is a 10-episode season being planned and being filmed and is set to begin this fall.
Man, after Showtime, canned Ash versus Evil Dead, I was really considering kind of chopping that, blasting that off my network. But man, nope, you got me, Showtime. I'm definitely sticking around for this. Big Halo fan. I know a lot of other Legionnaires out there are Halo fans. So, I mean, hey, Master Chief won our March Madness. So I'm sure people are going to be stoked to see this. No,
absolutely, man. All right, so next up. We got some wrestling news.
Oh yeah, I was gone last week, so I gotta squeeze in some stuff that's going on out there in the wrestling world. But I think this one's really cool. We've been talking a lot about AEW, new upcoming federation that a lot of people think is going to give the WWE a run for its money. It's run by Cody and the Young Bucks and all those other new indie guys. Well, man. They're having a big event out in Las Vegas in May, and no one knew who Cody's opponent was going to be. Of course, Cody being Cody Rhodes, the youngest son of Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Mm-hmm. It's been announced that he will be taking on Dustin Rhodes, otherwise known as Gold Dust.
So how does that pit the two related?
Well, of course they're brothers, or stepbrothers, but man, there's always been this kind of ongoing. I know in the WWE they had them they had them team up. Cody actually took on this Stardust role.
That's right. Yes.
Remember he kind of played that and they were a team, but they never really fought each other that much, and everyone kind of always wanted to see it. But man, they're billing this as one last ride. Dustin's getting up there. I think he just turned 50 this year. So who knows, man? This might be the last time we see Dustin.
Oh man. What, you think he's going to put Cody over then?
He's
going to go out in a blaze of glory.
I was going to say the traditional thing would be for Dustin to lose and Cody to continue. Mm-hmm. But AEW saying they're throwing the rule book out the window, so anything's possible. Like we said, that's coming up in May.
All right. Next up, in more wrestling sort of ish news, some little wrestling comic book news. What do they got there?
Yeah, man. Well, John Cena, he might be joining the new Suicide Squad movie. It hasn't been confirmed yet. Okay. He's currently in negotiations, but if things do pan out, he will be playing Peacemaker, who I know hasn't always been viewed as a villain, but he's definitely kind of off the wall, so
sure.
Might fit in with the Suicide Squad. But other villains that have been announced that will appear in the James Gunn directed movie are King Shark, Polka Dot Man, and the Rat Catcher, which I'm kind of I remember him from the Batman the Animated Series. They could bring that guy in as a serious character. But actually, I think later on they did make him more. Yeah. He wore a gas mask.
Well, he'll be like a Slipknot, where he just dies in the first 10 seconds.
They did a little filler in there for King Shark just to bite the head off.
Just eat someone or for them to blow their head up or whatever.
Now, this movie isn't due out until the summer of 2021, so it's a while down the road. But, I mean, of course, they've been talking with Idris Elba about playing a role. Now, I guess supposedly he's come out and said he's I'm not playing Deadshot. It would be a different, a different character. Yeah. But I think same thing. I think he'd be a great addition. Obviously, Hemdell.
Yeah. Yeah, anything he does would be great.
But yeah, if they get John Cena on board too, yeah, he'll probably be hanging. So just keep boosting that star power.
All right. Next up, we got Capcom has announced a new plug-and-play arcade stick packed with classic Capcom games, right? So this is, they're all arcade games, right? And these plug directly into your TV, and this sort of console, if you will, is just a deck that has the push buttons and classic joystick on it.
Ooh, that's pretty hot.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. The bottom part of it here is kind of in a shadow, but it is this sort of thick, bulky thing like that. And it's like white all the way around, this really nice white plastic. But it's going to come pre-packed with 16 original Capcom fighting games, right? Including Street Fighter II, Hyper Fighting, Mega Man the Power Battle, Alien vs. Predator, Armored Warriors, Capcom Sports Club, and Captain Commando, among several others. This is due out this October on the 25th, and should be pretty interesting, something you can buy for the home and, play some of these classic arcade games the way they were meant to be played on the old joysticks.
Man, those days of being in the arcade. We're going to talk about some more of that later when we talk about Mortal Kombat. But yeah, like you said, I remember pumping in quarters, man, just going at it.
Yeah.
Lots of fun.
Well, look, Life Reboot says I had an arcade fighting cab in my collection for a hot minute, but didn't have anyone to play with, so I ended up selling it. Yeah, I could understand that. I think this has some single-player games or like co-op games, so you could play a little bit more by yourself. But it's just cool that there's 16 games, so it's not just one. So that's kind of neat.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
cool.
No word yet on the price of this, though.
A lot of times, I know those run, but from what people have told me, like the mini cabs and stuff, they're a lot of fun and people love them. So it should be pretty cool.
We'll have to see.
Maybe we'll get one here for the studio.
And we'll be here like this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It looks like it's only like this big.
I know. Yeah. All right, man. We got some local love, man. We'd like to tell you guys about an awesome event that's going on in our backyard. Mm-hmm. You might just see us there.
Heck yeah. What do they got going on this week?
Oh, man. We got the Darling Fire. They're going to be rocking out at Will's Pub up in Orlando. But joining them will also be Tape Studies, Spirit, and the Cosmic Heart. Now, when I hear those names, I'm like, man, that's some. Those sound almost like comic booky kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got Tape Studies, Spirit, and the Cosmic Heart, and of course the Darling Fire, man. I mean, I know the Hound don't like no fire, but people are fire. They get all
Mr. Fusion's down.
Oh, you know it.
He says the Darling Fire is awesome.
Awesome, man. Well, this is going to be kicking off on at 9 p.m. and it's 18 plus. So unfortunately, some of the younger Legionnaires probably won't be able to go check it out. But it's only $5.
Hey, that's not bad.
Absolutely, it's going to be real cool. Spartan Records proudly welcomes the Darling Fire, which consists of former members of Dashboard Confessional, Poison the Well, Shai Halud, which I love that name. Of course, you got to have some Dune, and Jasper Wall. This upcoming act is one you don't want to miss, and they also have a new debut album that I'm sure you'll be able to pick up at the event.
Heck yeah, sounds good. Mr. Fusion says they just recorded a new album that's due out to release in June.
Oh, there you go. So you might not be able to get your hands on it just yet, but you'll probably be able to hear some of those swinging sounds at the Will's Pub.
Heck yeah, man. All right, last but not least, we're going to run through some headlines real quick. This is, of course, Rapid Fire segment of the news about stories that are so popular you probably heard about them, but we figured we'd at least read the headline because we couldn't just let them go under the radar. First and foremost, the Nintendo Game Boy has recently celebrated its 30th anniversary.
That's pretty cool. Love it, man.
There you go. Some birthday love out there for Game Boy, man. Classic little system. Super ton of fun. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Life Reboot has either a sub badge or an emote that's a Game Boy.
There you go. Have to throw it down.
All right. Next up, speaking of AEW, ARW's Leva Bates has joined the AEW roster, right? So that's our local vault-dwelling ass kicker who usually comes out dressed like a sort of Vault Girl-esque style character, or did for a while, and then she kind of went heel. But, there's those emotes, Life Reboot. Love it, dude. But, so she's actually hitting up the AEW roster.
What a great time to jump on, too. Like we said, look at this thing. They got Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes, and now they can add Leva Bates to the roster as well. Congratulations, Leva.
Heck yeah. We've had a lot of fun seeing her at a lot of live local events up there in Cocoa Beach, and it's going to be really cool to be able to catch her at some of these events as well.
Absolutely. And if you want to catch her one last time, I know the upcoming May show for ARW, she'll have her, pretty much farewell match from ARW because now she got to go work for AEW. So you still got time to check her out.
Very cool, man. And we do recommend.
Oh, great time. Always a good time.
All right. So the North American release date for Spider-Man Far From Home has been moved.
Ooh.
Up 3 days. Heck yeah.
There you go. Sooner. Give it to me.
Yeah. So it's actually going to be out on Tuesday, July 2nd. So I guess they realized, hey, some people might be off in the middle of the week there for the holiday. Might as well get that movie out
there. Get the
there.
butts in the seats. Yeah.
No doubt, man.
That's awesome.
All right. Gaining a lot of popularity this week is Raising Kratos, a new documentary that will debut on PlayStation's YouTube channel, right, and explores the creation and development process of the God of War video game. Now, I saw the trailer for this, and it looks absolutely brilliant. Aurelia actually sent it out on her Discord, and it was really, really freaking cool. So even though I haven't played a God of War game in a few years, this is definitely a series I want to check out, being someone who knows a little bit about producing games and is interested in it, and a fan of the series. This looks like an amazing trailer. We recommend you guys get out there and check it out.
And man, we'll have to save this story for another time, but we actually got to meet the God of War composer one time.
That's
so
right.
We'll definitely have to dive into that after we check out Raising Kratos.
All right. So last but not least here in the headlines, Valentina TV.
Woo!
Thank you so much. Coming in hot, subbing right away. Doesn't even say hi. You're the absolute best. I know she messaged me over the weekend and said that she wanted her sub to go to the charity. So,
okay. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100% going right to the charity. We're going to throw that $5 over there in your name. Thank you so much for supporting the Power Hour love, for spreading the love. Let's see some emotes down there in the chat for Valentina. Coming in hot with that sub right there. How are you doing tonight? How has your streams been lately? How's the world treating you? Hope you're having a great time. We're just wrapping up the PoDunk news. Going to get into a little bit of Game of Thrones. We're going to round out the night with some Mortal Kombat 11 talk. Sorry for missing the charity stream. You do not have to apologize. She's on the other side of the world over there.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in and for the support.
Can you donate yours? Yes, Mr. Fusion. If you want to donate yours, sure. Yeah.
Roll them on in.
What the hell? Everything we got tonight, we'll give to the charity anyways. Fuck it. Why not?
Spreading the love, baby.
I mean, Aurelia's charity has been doing such amazing work, and I know all of you guys heard our news story earlier about how Player vs. Hunger themselves got in touch with her, and now she'll be doing some one-on-one support work with them. So, yeah, we'll absolutely take all the bits and donations tonight. What the hell? We'll kick it over to Aurelia's charity.
Let's keep this party going.
Heck
Why not,
yeah.
right?
Keep spreading the love.
Spreading it.
That's what it's all about. Legion coming in hot with some love out there. Got to spread it.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you all so much. Thank you guys just for hanging out. You never have to give anything or sub anything or anything like that. We just appreciate you guys being here, but it really does mean the world, and we're happy to be able to give it to people who really need more than we do. So.
Absolutely, man. So what's up with this headline right here?
So last but not least, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. star Ming-Na Wen, Melinda May, right? She plays Melinda May on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., was surprised and delighted to find herself the answer to a Jeopardy question, right? So before ER and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Ming-Na Wen kicked butt as Chun-Li in the film version of this battle game. Does anyone know the answer? Feel free to throw it in chat. You'll get an official no prize. Some actual Jeopardy music.
There you go. Had to throw it in there.
Yep. Valentina says it's been all right. Could have been here earlier, but currently at work. Finally got a quick breather. Well, thank you for checking in with us at work. We super appreciate it. You make sure not to get in any trouble or anything for peeping the stream, but we really appreciate you being here. Thank you for that sub. Thank you for supporting the charity, and it really does mean a lot. You're fantastic. Thank you so much.
Oh, I think we got an answer down there from Mr. Fusion.
Oh, Street Fighter 2. Well, Street Fighter 2 wasn't the name of the movie, was it?
Well, it's asking what game, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah.
No, he got it. No,
gotcha.
Nope.
I thought it was asking the name of the movie.
No, you got it. Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, that's what I was gonna wonder. I mean, I remember they did like the Street Fighter movie back in like 1993, and then they did like a Chun-Li specific movie, which I think is the one that they're referring to.
Okay. Look, Ghetto Devil says you guys seem like really, really good dudes. Thank you so much for that. By your name, you seem like a really good dude too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, we appreciate you being here. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight here here on the Power Hour Love, man. We're just about spreading the love for things that we like, that we pretty sure you guys like, and that we don't really get a chance to talk about because the world and media is so fast-paced, blowing out all the horrific shit going around the world, and no one's focusing on all the really great fun stuff that all of us still have in common and could use more time to talk about. So
you know it, man. No, thank you so much. No, that's so cool. Thank you for joining us, and stick around because we got a lot of more cool stuff to talk about.
And I see Aurelia's out there. Did you hear Valentina and Mr. Fusion both want to donate their subs tonight over to the charity? So we just said, fine, carte blanche. Anything anyone gives tonight, we're just going to give to the charity as well.
Give the people what they want.
If you're out there adding stuff up as our mod, you can feel free to let us know. If not, I'll check on the VOD. You don't have to do that, but you know.
Awesome, man.
All right, but that's going to wrap up the news for tonight. We are going to jump back into the studio. We're going to hit some Draft of Thrones action. If you're a Game of Thrones fan and you didn't see last night's episode, you may want to mute the audio or something for a few minutes and just be careful of spoilers because we will throw up probably just a few little spoilers here and there. But we're going to make it real quick. It's only going to be about a little 5-minute segment. But right after that, we're going to be talking about Mortal Kombat 11 releasing tomorrow. We're going to talk a bit about the story, the confirmed roster, and Senior Bull has put together his list of the 5 best fatalities of all time. It's going to be a super blast, man. So stick around. It's going to be fun.
Let's do it.
Death and movies, who will die next, who will die next, who will die next? Horns for nudity and the violence with his schemes and stab his power. Who will rule the Iron Throne? Find out next week, never this week, always next week.
Oh, man, I love that.
Yeah, you know what I love? I love Ghetto Devil coming in with that subscription, man, during the video. Welcome to the Legion of Love, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We absolutely appreciate it. That sub going straight to the charity, Player versus Hunger, help feeding kids around there, supporting Aurelia's amazing charity campaign and her amazing involvement now with Player versus Hunger, where hopefully moving forward they're going to work more hand in hand to do just amazing things around this country and help feed children and elderly people all throughout the United States. Thank you so much for that sub. Like we said, anyone else wanting to throw anything down tonight, it's going to the charity. So get nuts, guys. We appreciate it so much. I know that Aurelia does, so just thank you. Ghetto Devil, thank you so much, man. Hopefully we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk a little bit of a Draft of Thrones action. So a couple weeks ago, we opened the floor up for all of our Twitch followers to join our fantasy draft where we all drafted different characters within the show, and then each week The Verge through Fantaseer they rate and give points for sex and nudity and violence and things like this. And then throughout the weeks the points tabulate, and whoever wins at the end will win an amazing prize from the Power Hour of Love. And it's going to be a very custom, one-of-a-kind thing that just they're going to get, that we'll announce at the end of the whole shebang there. But you could see the list of names during our trailer are actually the competitors in the Draft of Thrones. So, Senior Bull, why don't you tell us who's rocking the lead this week?
Man.
Or do you want to hit some highlights first of the episode?
Well, why don't we go down the list and then we'll rock some highlights. But yeah,
let's just do the top 3 though. The top 3 people.
Absolutely. Well, we did have 7, but like I said, we're just gonna hit the 3. So, still in the number 1 spot, holding it down, still being the hand of the king. We still got That's So Three-Eyed Raven. Which
coming with the hottest name and all, like the entire draft. That's so hilarious and on point.
And he rocked it last week. I got a bunch of points, and even this week didn't do as good as last week, but still rocked it out.
Who was his top person that he had?
Oh, this week was Tormund.
Tormund, yes.
Lots of good lines and stuff that he said this week. Just. Real funny, confirmed a few things.
Yeah, the whole weird stuff about him getting his Giant's Bane name was pretty wild. Yeah. But him really flexing up on Brienne was nice, when they're all like, the army of the dead is coming. Is the large woman still here?
Yeah, exactly. That's all his concern.
Yep.
But, absolutely. Definitely, That's So Three-Eyed Raven still in the lead with 210 points.
Nice.
So good start for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But can you guess who number 2 is?
Whoever had Jamie?
And that would be me.
Hey!
Not only do I have Jamie, I also have Aurelia.
Oh,
which,
okay.
if you have seen the episode, you know that both of those were what you'd call power players, had a lot of screen time, had a lot of things going on that you said would get us some points. And there's really not been any violence yet, but, there's been a lot of other things going on. But, yeah, so I'm currently following up behind That's So Three-Eyed Raven with 170 points.
No doubt. And you know what? I see Valentina's taking the lead right there. Let's get some emotes in the chat for Ghetto Devil, throwing that sub down during the video right there.
Oh, yeah.
We got to give him some love. He's got a set of 3 amazing emotes down there now. So you got the love. It's up to you to spread it. Don't do it just in this channel. Do it everywhere, man, because that's what we're about. It's about spreading positivity, spreading the power of love, and we're doing it 1 hour at a time. Thanks for hanging with us.
Oh, absolutely.
All right,
Thank you so much. So in the third spot, so like I said, I got number 2.
Well, okay, we got to talk about Aurelia for half a second because a lot of the internet really went ablaze at the fact that Massey Williams went ahead and did a little naughty time with old Gendry over there without people realizing that the show's been on for like 10 years, I mean, it's season 8, but it takes them like 10 years to produce the show. So she was 11 when the show started, but 10 years later, she's 21 years old.
Exactly.
And a lot of people are like, oh, my eyes. And I'm like, dude, do you really think now's the time HBO is just going to roll the dice on putting like child sex in one of their shows? Come on, guys, what are you thinking?
Well, and I was talking to someone earlier, and they said, regardless of how old she is, like she does have a young look to her.
Yeah.
And it's just the fact that we've known her as, the young Stark girl for so long. Yeah. It is kind of like, ooh, like it's a little shocking.
But she's been a bloodthirsty murderer for like 3 seasons.
And that's what I was going to say. To me, it was kind of like a sweet scene because, like you said, she's been in survival mode for the last 5 seasons. It was really nice to see her get like a happy moment.
Yes. Yeah. Something kind of nice. And definitely a lot of people were searching for this, as this being the episode that's the prelude to the Battle of Winterfell, and us getting a lot of closure from a lot of different characters coming together. It was nice to see so many people being like, hey, this could be our last night on Earth together. And Arya made it happen. So you're like, hey, good for you, dude.
She was like,
yeah. And that line, she says, what does she say? I'm not like that witch or whatever.
I'm not the red woman, so take off your own bloody pants.
Take off your own pants.
No, it was very cool. But in the third place, we got #Hero Cersei, which is our friend Sherry H.
Yeah, Cersei wasn't even in this episode. Come on. Who was her top earner?
She's currently got 135 points.
Okay.
And it looks like, let's see what her top one was for this week. Give me 1 second.
I see.
How could I forget? Jorah Mormont. He gained Valyrian steel.
Yeah, that's a huge bonus you get. Yep. When Samuel Tarly gave him his family sword that was that Valyrian steel, is a huge bonus that you get.
Oh yeah.
For in the game for getting Valyrian steel, White Walker killing weapons, right? Basically. But Mr. Fusion says they were at least. No, what does he say? Hey, I won MVP this week, though, with Brienne of Tarth. Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing scene with her. Really, really cool. The whole knighthood thing and all that. Like, all of the acting in that scene from everyone, from Tormund, from Jaime, from Brienne to Tyrion. Like, everyone was just amazing and really had their own perspective on that moment, but none more so than the pride exuding from Brienne herself. Just phenomenal.
Seeing her smile was definitely something that I don't think we've seen a lot in the show.
I have a feeling that's going to be a meme now. We're going to see that flying around.
Yep. Sir Brienne.
Yes.
But, like we were saying, this is definitely, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a good, like you said, kind of break before things really, what happened?
Mr. Fusion down there. He's like, Arya gained some Baratheon steel.
Leave it to Fusion now. But no.
Oh man, you nut.
He's not wrong though. Well, she did. She got the weapon. I'm just saying.
I thought that was dragon glass. He's not talking about the weapon that he gave him. Trust me. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, are we ready to move on to some Mortal Kombat stuff?
No, absolutely good. But like you said, next week, woof. Yes. I have a feeling this was the calm before the storm.
Yes.
And if you haven't got caught up yet, get caught up so next Sunday you can watch the 88-minute episode.
Yeah. I do have to say, I do appreciate the fact that HBO did not load a description or title for the episode. So literally everyone just got to see Game of Thrones 69 because it's just the 69th episode of the series. And I thought that was pretty awesome. So that was fun.
Okay. I was gonna say we won't even go there. We'll just go right into that was the missing scene.
All right. So Mortal Kombat.
No, wait,
Mortal Kombat.
You gotta do it right. You gotta go Mortal Kombat.
Arguably the best thing that ever came out of the film. So that music. Or not arguably, undeniably the best thing that came out of the film.
Oh yeah, awesome soundtrack.
Yeah. But we're gonna talk a little bit about Mortal Kombat 11 that has this timeless story, right? So I say that because the story revolves very heavily around time travel, which is why we thought it was so cool to pair it up with the Avengers talk from earlier that is probably going to have a huge time travel component as well. So thanks to the temporal manipulations of a powerful new foe, past and present versions of iconic heroes and villains get to collide in Mortal Kombat 11's story mode. It's easily the most entertaining tale the series has ever told, and it leaves the future of the franchise open to exciting possibilities, right? So this sounds super cool in my opinion, because I'm a big time travel fan, and I love kind of bringing people back and seeing where they'd be several years later, or if they knew their own fate, would they like it, would they not like it? Those are very interesting concepts, so I think they can really flesh out the story in a really great way, so I'm excited to see where it goes. But I did want to tell you guys a little bit about Kronika, the Keeper of Time, right? So she is a goddess, right? And with a wave of her hand, she rebuilds Shinnok's temple, demonstrating the vast power at her disposal, right? So she has beef with Raiden, right, whose constant interference has ruined the balance that she seeks to maintain within the universe. Again, kind of paralleling a little bit of that Endgame theme, right?
Sure.
So she sounds like an exciting new villain who's going to be able to bring back characters from all throughout the mythos, right? And most notably in some of the little game clips I've seen, the one aspect of it that I really enjoy is that there is both a young Johnny Cage and an old Johnny Cage. So now they have like two kind of douchebaggy guys like ragging on each other the whole time. It looks super fun, man.
And her name's Kronika?
I believe so, yeah.
Well, man,
that story should have made 420.
I was going to say. Well, why don't we talk about some of the other awesome roster that this game has?
Okay, let me see. Do I have a roster slide? Let me see. Yes, confirmed roster for the game thus far. Again, this was the most current we could find. If names have been added since, we apologize, but we're going to read them here in alphabetical order.
Oh, yeah.
So we have confirmed Baraka, Cassie Cage, Cetrion, Frost, Devora, Aaron Black, Juras, Jaquai Briggs, Jade, Jax, Johnny Cage. I should read them all like the guy from the song thing, right?
Yeah.
Cabal, Kano, Kitana, Collector. What is this?
Koda Khan.
Kotal Khan. Yeah, there you go. Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Noob Sabat, Raiden, Scorpion, Scarlet, Sonya, Sub-Zero, and Shao Kahn, who's going to be a downloadable character fighter.
Along with
DLC, downloadable content.
Yeah, along with Shang Tsung.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yes, pretty cool, man. Now, Scarlet is one that I hadn't seen. Was she in 10?
I don't
I think
so.
She might be a new character for 11, but she can apparently psychically control blood and can literally pull blood out of your body from a wound and turn it into spears and throw it back at you.
Oh, okay. Now, she may have been in, 8 or 9 or something like that. Maybe some of the folks in the comments can let us know. But, man, we got to share again. Now, who did the body work for Sonya?
Oh, it's actually Ronda Rousey. Did all of the motion capture for the character. So it should have some pretty damn legit moves coming out of old Sonya this time around, man. Should be a lot of fun.
Dude, look at Baraka, too, man. He looks freaking wicked, man. He always looked wicked with those teeth. But, yeah, I've seen some gameplay from this. I'm just like, dang. I remember when we got Mortal Kombat 10, we were like, let's just check it out. And I was like, damn, this is great. It's just like playing one of the older ones. And I'm sure this one will be just as good.
Look, Ghetto Devil's coming to my rescue here. It's pronounced Jackie. Okay, I thought it was, and then I'm reading it, and I totally messed it up. So I apologize. Yes. Jackie Briggs. I said Jaquai because
she was in this.
She was in my marbles,
10.
but
yeah.
Now I'll be honest. I'm not much of a Mortal Kombat player. I stink at this game. I played probably 1 through 4, just getting my butt whipped, and I haven't played a lot of the other ones since. But Senior Boyle may in fact be a super fan. So this half of the show is where he shines, much like the Endgame stuff was my nerd hole, you know?
Absolutely, man. And like we said, I think, I'm super stoked about Mortal Kombat 11. It looks great. I'm sure they're going to have a bunch of great DLCs just like they did for 10, like where they had like Freddy Krueger and Jason and Leatherface and the Alien and Predator. I'm sure they're going to have a bunch of cool guys. But one of the little tidbits, I know we mentioned a few weeks back, but the voice actor for Shang Tsung is actually the guy who played him in the old like Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about the movies in a few minutes. But is it time for the fatality countdown?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. All right, so as we all know,
Fatalities.
if you started playing Mortal Kombat back in the early 90s, what really probably grabbed you by the get over here and pulled you into the game was the fact that it had tons of blood and it had these finishing moves. Like, of course, Street Fighter was cool.
Hey, ASF Klops coming in, raiding with 5 beautiful friends out there. Welcome to the Power Hour of Love. We were just about to get into Senior Bull's top 5 picks for the best fatalities in Mortal Kombat history, guys. So welcome for that. We were just talking a little bit about MK11 releasing tomorrow, being a super ton of fun. Klops, how was your stream tonight, man? I think you was playing some GTA 5, I noticed, right? Is that right?
Man.
How did that go? Throw some emotes in the chat, everybody, and welcome Klops and his beautiful viewers out there. Thank you, Aurelia, for throwing down that shout out as well.
So awesome, man. But like we were saying, back in the day, what really got you pulled in?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Champo throwing down 100 biddies right there. That's going 100% to charity tonight. It's going out there to Player versus Hunger, Aurelia's campaign in honor of her like really hitting a milestone, being the 500th Tiltapai campaign. Donation was through her campaign. So she was put in contact with Player versus Hunger themselves, who came by and checked out her stream on Saturday, hung out the entire time, and invited her to kind of work with them. Look at that, throwing down a couple more, 200 more biddies down there, dude. We appreciate it so much. It's all for feeding children and the elderly folks here in the United States that are food insecure and don't know where their next meal is coming from. And it supports Aurelia on her campaign out there to work with Player versus Hunger. ASF Klops, thank you so much. Throwing down another 100 bits down there. Making it rain is right, DJ Napalm. These guys are amazing. Thank you so much for that beautiful raid, and thank you guys so much for supporting the Power Hour Love and for supporting Aurelia. Look at that follow hype out there. Welcome to the Legion of Love, Champo.
That's so awesome. Thank you guys.
A little bit of Twitch love out there for Klops coming in with that. Thank you so much. Exactly. Life Reboot got it. Get over here. Guys, just get over here and have some fun with us. Thank you so much, guys. Let's see some emotes down there for everybody being awesome.
You know it, man. Well, now that they're here, now it's time to finish him. Because anytime you heard those, you heard those words come up in the game. I don't know about you guys, but I started panicking. Like, even if I knew how to do it, like all of a sudden, like all eyes are on you. You got to get that fatality in there.
And they were always super easy. 47 buttons that you'd never hit in any other order.
I think later on they even had a thing where you could buy like a button control where it like would just do it for you, you know. But hey, trying to make a little bit extra dough over there at the Nether Realms. But all right. So let's get with number 5 first. Here we go. All right. Now this one's very close to me. It's very recent. We got Mortal Kombat 10, Johnny Cage doing the "Here's Johnny" while ripping open the chest piece right there, man. To me, it's very fitting for the character.
It is, considering he's an actor and it's from The Shining.
Yes.
It's kind of a throwback. They're both named Johnny.
Yes. Yeah. It's just
well, they're not both named Johnny, but it's the line.
Yes.
So he's referencing Johnny Carson in The Shining.
Well, I always thought that his like friendship back in the old game, where he'd like sign an autograph and give it to him and you'd see it there. It's like, that's pretty cool. So now this was fun.
Oh, I love Mr. Fusion. I just did that one to my kid the other day. Real nice, dude.
Here's Johnny. Now, great game. Lots of real violent, wild fatalities, but this one really made me laugh, And
No
if
doubt.
you Champo
coming in with that sub right there. Thank you so much. Look, welcome to the Legion of Love with that amazing follow and with that amazing subscription right there. We are actually going to take the money from your subscription and we're going to pass it over to that charity, but you will get all the rights entailed to our regular subscriber, which means you have now a beautiful set of 3 emotes. You got some Stronger Than Steel hearts down there. You've got some bloop bloop bloops to spread some Twitch love, and you got a general spread it just so you can go around and spread it. So you know what? You got that love. get out there and spread it. It's up to you as part of the Legion of Love to spread the positivity. And, to, like a lot of times there's a lot of fun stuff out there, some rips and things like that for people. But you know what? We love throwing people love when we're watching them and they're struggling through a game, man, and just supporting people and saying, yeah, man, kick some ass. You could do it. Let's get some. So you got the love. Get out there and spread it. You're already doing a wonderful job throwing us so much attention today. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it more than you know, dude. Seriously.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And, this is a little, I know you said, this is Charboil's top 5, because he definitely wanted to say, typically on, Power Hour of Love, we're just talking about some love. But, I do have to say, I always loved these fatalities.
Yeah.
I just thought that, they're gruesome and they're like watching a horror movie, but man, they were just like the crazy stuff they come up with, man. I'm just like, I can't get enough of it. So
no doubt.
This was number 5.
Yes.
Let's do my number 4 pick over here.
Thank you for that sub hype, Aurelia. I appreciate it. Valentina, Life Reboot, Champo, amazing.
Now, I know
Fusion, thank you.
I know when we mentioned this particular character a
Yes.
few weeks back when it was revealed that Noob Sabat would be returning in the upcoming Mortal Kombat 11. We were kind of like, oh man, we haven't really heard a lot about this guy, but he actually dates way back to the early games as a hidden character. And his whole thing was that he can create pretty much a doppelganger of himself that can assist him in the battle.
Yes.
So one of his fatalities, which is called Make a Wish in Mortal Kombat 9, literally had him create the doppelganger and grab each grab the leg and they just kind of wishbone the person in half. Probably the most gruesome fatality. Well, okay, that's kind of hard when you're talking about Mortal Kombat, but pretty nasty, But definitely, I'd have to say it's my number 4 pick for my favorite fatality.
It's definitely a good one. I dig it.
Yeah, I mean, just looks brutal. It's like some Game of Thrones stuff right there.
Yeah, and I love how proud they are. They're like,
this is my trophy. Yeah.
Got him. All right, next up, heading all the way back to Mortal Kombat 2. What do you got for us?
Oh man, we got to go with Liu Kang's dragon transformation.
Pretty baller.
In the original Mortal Kombat, everyone just had one fatality, and the thing is I think everyone would agree that Liu Kang's fatality was kind of weak. He did this weird Bruce Lee flip, and then he just uppercuts the guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, but then when you got Scorpion pulling his mask off and burning the guy, and Sonya doing the kiss of death, I think in part 2 they're like, yeah, we got to give Liu Kang something with a little more oomph. Yeah. So they actually let him turn into a freaking dragon and bite pretty much its upper torso right off, swallow the whole thing. So that was pretty brutal, and it was also before everybody was doing animalities and all that stuff. So
well, what's really cool is he's the Mortal Kombat dragon
yes.
too. It's very much the one from the cover of the game.
Absolutely, man. So that had to go in as my number 3 pick for my favorite fatality.
Look, Life Reboot says, and they gave him the disco ball friendship in Mortal Kombat 2, which was delightful.
Yes.
I think we got a disco fan out there in the chat.
Dude, I mean, like you said, they were so innovative with this stuff. I never really got the babe-alities, where everyone turned everybody into babies or whatever. But I mean, hey, it was Mortal Kombat. Toasty. Things were just kind of crazy.
I guess they were just trying to get the girls to play the game at that point.
Go.
I don't know.
You don't have to kill them. You just turn them into a baby. Yeah. I think if my mom knowing.
Wait, what's that? They're pacifying them.
Oh, there you go. But no one, if my mom had heard that, she'd be like, oh, they're killing babies in the game. What are you can't play?
No, they're fine. They're alive. They're okay. They're not gonna kill a baby. They're not monsters. I mean, some of them are. But.
Yeah, exactly. Brock is pretty monsters.
Yeah, he seems like he would super eat a baby.
Yeah, he's
just saying.
He probably came to Earth Realm and he's just like, where's the babies at? They're talking about it before they get there. But anyhow, from going all the way back to Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah,
you got the Liu Kang dragon.
But moving on, man, this is an all-encompassing fatality, you said, right?
Yes, yeah. I know this might be a little bit of a cheat, but I think you Mortal Kombat lovers out there will agree. For my number 2 favorite fatality, you got to go with the pit/stage fatalities.
Yeah, which they do have a number of different stage fatalities throughout the years, and there's pretty much not a bad one. There's not one that you're like, oh, that was lame.
The one thing I always loved about the first game and the pit, it was even if you couldn't perform another fatality, you could do the pit fatality.
All you had to do is uppercut the guy. And
I know that changed in the later games, like
Yeah.
you actually had to do, but that was just great because you were just like, okay, I could do some brutality here, you know?
Hell yeah.
And it was just a cool stage that they're fighting above these, Indiana Jones style, pit of freaking blades. Not to mention that the secret character in the first Mortal Kombat game, Reptile, you actually fought him on the floor of the pit.
Oh, that's dope.
So it's like, yeah, it was in a sense a level as well. But
Very
it's
cool.
like, you were thinking, I could throw him on the things. Of course, that it wasn't programmed like that. But you still got to fight a secret character. But yeah, definitely the pit and stage fatalities have always been awesome. All right, ready for my number one?
Number one.
All time.
Best fatality
All
ever.
right, finish
Here,
him.
look, go like this, dude. Yeah, it's that.
I know, kind of a spoiler. I've been wearing it all night, but.
So classic, like iconic something from the game,
Absolutely, man. Have to dig deep, have to go back to the original, had to go back to Mortal Kombat 1 with the Sub-Zero spinal rip. I mean, if it wasn't for this particular screen right here, like we probably would have never got. Well, I shouldn't say never, but that rating system,
Yes,
for games wouldn't have come out as early as it did.
Yeah.
Like this is definitely responsible for it.
Yeah,
and it is. It's just brutal.
Yeah, it was definitely the image that every parent saw and was like, "Whoa!"
Absolutely, man. And it was just and every kid saw it in the arcade and was like, "I want to play." And once they heard there was a console version, they were like.
Yep.
They were on their way for it, man. They just couldn't get enough. So yeah, definitely had to give that my number one. So you guys let me know what you think of my top 5. If you've got a favorite, throw it down in there. We'll definitely have to check it out after the show. But we're still going to talk a little bit about Mortal Kombat.
We got a little bit of other fun Mortal Kombat stuff we wanted to talk about. Again, you briefly wanted to mention the films. Now, I'm not a super big fan of either of these films, but I will say one is substantially worse than the other.
Oh, you know it, man. All I'm going to say is, like we were talking earlier, you had a Street Fighter film, you had a Super Mario Brothers film, and these were both complete garbage. Like if it was made today, it would be called a dumpster fire, But Mortal Kombat in 1995, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. I remember I went to the theater to see that, and when I left, I was actually like, that wasn't that bad. Like it really did fly off the rails, in the middle of the movie. But in the beginning, like the first 45 minutes, I was like, damn, man, this is actually like, at least from the story you knew from the game, it was kind of following it, and then it kind of just went and did its own thing. But I mean, hey, characters killed other characters.
Yeah.
With fatalities. I did always think that, Shang Tsung like soul ripping some like random guy. I was like, man, if they could have had like one of the other characters, like it would have meant more. But Goro looked badass for 1995 standards,
Yeah.
And just having him in the movie was cool. Like I said, I always thought the guy who played Shang Tsung was good. But I know what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
We want to talk about the complete dog crap that was.
Well, no, I do got to say one or two things about the original
Let's
film
hear it.
that are
Let's
just
hear it.
my opinion of it, right? The first movie was better than the second. Yes, it absolutely was.
Yes.
DJ Napalm says, great job on your lists and your bowl. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Thanks, buddy.
let's see. I think the original MK, the people actually looked like real people instead of CGI, in my opinion. Yes, they went nuts with CGI and Annihilation, and it really killed the film. There was so much wacky CGI stuff that it wasn't very fun. But in the first film, the things that kind of took me out of it are really bizarre when I think back to them now, right? Because it was two particular things that I did not like about the movie that today seem weird that as a kid I felt this way, right? But the first thing was that Raiden wasn't Asian. And I mean, I don't think he looks particularly Asian in his face or anything like in the game, but I just presumed he was always Asian. And like Christopher Lambert's like so soft spoken that I was like, that guy's lightning coming out of his face. Like that guy's going to be more badass than that. Like I really expected him to be a more dominating figure. And Christopher Lambert seems like such a wise old man rather than the kind of fierce opponent that I felt Raiden was. And Raiden was like my favorite character. So to me, that was like a major, major minus to the film.
I think his connection with Kung Fu is why they're like, we're gonna get Christopher Lambert, because he was, I would say he was probably the biggest star besides Bridget Wilson.
Yeah.
I
love how you say Kung Fu though.
Kung Fu.
Yeah, Kung Fu. There you go. I think Life Reboot, he's the Kung Fu master.
Kung Fu. But sorry, I know you got one more thing you want to mention. I just want to throw it out before we jump into the second film. The soundtrack to Mortal Kombat was badass. Like,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
what a great
Yes.
mix of like industrial and techno. And it was honestly some of those bands,
Timeless,
Yeah.
stronger than steel.
Yes, yeah. I mean, geez, some of those bands like that. That particular soundtrack got me into a lot of those
Yeah,
bands.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
so
dude,
it was wow.
Like Aurelia does that on Beat Saber. Like
Yes.
she's still playing that Mortal Kombat track and doing it in Beat Saber. You know? So if you guys haven't gotten a chance to check out our wonderful moderator over there that we've been screaming about all night, that's her channel right there. She's a fantastic charity streamer. Everything she does on her channel, she does towards charity. She's a super good human being and an amazing gamer, rocking some awesome Beat Saber and some Hades over this past weekend. But if you want to see her rock out some Mortal Kombat, she loves taking requests during her stream. So you can get over there, request Mortal Kombat, and she'll lightsaber that sumbitch up for you. It's super dope.
And definitely the first movie does hold its place in time because I don't think prior to the movie, Kano was like from Australia.
Right.
And everybody's like, hey, baby.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
then
it's
like they made the character like that later. Yeah. But the only other beef I kind of had was I thought Scorpion's thing coming out of his palm was super weird.
Gotcha.
Like, just as a kid, that creeped me out that would come out of his hand. I was like, oh, yuck.
Yeah, it was like kind of like a crow monster kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was cool that he brought him down in the Scorpion's realm, and he did the autograph signing friendship to him after he killed him.
Yes.
Now the fact that okay,
Look, I got to give a shout out to Mod Squad out there. What is up, man? Thanks for hanging out. He just jumped into the chat with some pew pew pews.
awesome, man. Well, okay, I think I've got the biggest beef. I got the biggest beef.
Go for it.
The fact that Scorpion and Sub-Zero didn't fight.
Yeah.
That has to be I think like the biggest Khan and not Shao Kahn, but
Yeah.
in the whole film. And honestly, yeah, at the very end when Shao Kahn like makes his surprise appearance, that looked terrible. Like even for 1995, it's like, what? You're supposed to be worried about that, but it did kick that awesome track, Mortal Kombat.
Totally. And like, I don't know, like something about Liu Kang again just seemed like he was the guy that was going to win the whole thing and everything like that. But again, he didn't have that very impressive sort of fatality sort of stuff going on. Like so many other characters were more memorable, and the fact that they were literally just kind of turned into henchmen was kind of to me. You know, that like you said, I would have loved to see Sub-Zero and Scorpion really putting more into who they were rather than some of the other characters. Like,
exactly.
I mean, I love Sonya, super big fan of Sonya. I don't want to see, an hour-long movie about Sonya and Johnny Cage and Liu Kang. I want to see an hour-long movie about Scorpion and Sub-Zero kicking ass and doing messed up shit.
You broke my sunglasses, asshole.
But still, not the worst video game movie at all.
Sure.
Very, very close to the worst video game movie, however.
But
is Annihilation.
Yes. For one, they dropped Christopher Lambert, and now we get James Remar. Dexter's dad is Raiden.
Yeah.
But
and then again, that over abuse of CGI, the weird like tattoo that would fly off people that was like the same in every single shot. Like so much weird stuff going on in that movie.
We weren't we watching one of the Angry Video Game Nerds reviews?
The
and,
Cinemassacre.
Yeah, and they did a great job talking about Annihilation.
Yeah,
so.
if you want to see this movie Annihilated, go check out their channel over on YouTube, and you guys can check out that video. But what do you guys think? How do you rate these two films as far as all-time legendary video game movies? Do you guys think they should remake this today? I very much do.
I think they would do great today.
Yeah, just getting some real star power behind it, some real money behind it. They could really make a fantastic movie that would make a super ton of money, and they could even develop a sort of shared universe thing, like a lot of studios are trying to do right now with like the Universal monsters and things like that. That's not been successful. This is a story that has so much mythos behind it that they could really, really probably weave this into a great franchise.
And absolutely, if they got some good martial artists in there and made it look really good, it'd get that, respect to it. Like you said, I mean, not that, even that Robin Shou guy, I mean, he was a pretty good martial arts guy, but, back in the day, Liu Kang was modeled after Jackie Chan. I mean, that's, that's what they were going for. But of course, they weren't going to afford Jackie Chan.
Oh my gosh, dude, listen to Life Reboot. I've never seen either movie. Right, but Cinemassacre has so much good content. Also, I met James Rolfe before he turned into the angry video game nerd. In college, we beat Bubble Bobble together.
That's awesome.
That's so cool, man.
Oh man, tell you, Life Reboot. He's got some great stories, and also if you guys haven't checked it out, you got to check out his Donkey Kong documentary. on YouTube. It's very good.
Absolutely.
It's 15 minutes, and you'll feel like you're. I mean, it's an action-packed 15 minutes of fun.
Absolutely. There's a link to it right there in the chat. There's also a link to Life Reboot's page. He's an amazing retro gamer out there playing a bunch of NES games. He just beat the original Ninja Turtles game live on stream the other day. Pretty amazing stuff. And he's also a world-ranked Donkey Kong player. So hence the Kung Fu joke earlier, right? But get over to his page, check him out, throw him a follow, and you guys are guaranteed to have some fun over there. Also, you can check out that documentary about his journey as a ranked Donkey Kong player, and it's very cool. So Mod Squad says, I do agree that Mortal Kombat has a huge history with a massive following. It all depends on how they deliver the movie for sure. Yeah, definitely. Because in the wrong hands, anything can stink.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what they did over the years, was they were just licensing out movies to the first person that would buy them. That's how we ended up with things like Blood Rain.
Wee Ball.
Super Mario Brothers and stuff
No
like
relation, by the way.
J-Dog says, just don't do a Super Mario reboot, the original one.
It's
at least John Leguizamo was funny.
I was gonna say, I mean, I could, aren't we getting like a Sonic the Hedgehog movie later?
Yes.
But I think that's gonna be all CG, right? Like,
I think so. I know Sonic's at least going to be CG.
Yeah.
I don't know if the rest of the world is.
So yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how that goes. I'm sure if that does well,
Then we'll see.
they
more.
will follow.
Yeah,
no
doubt.
I mean, there's a lot of video game franchises that I think I'd love to see, like a movie, like Metal Gear Solid, and
I don't know about that one. Metal Gear has one of the craziest, most bonker freaking stories I've ever seen. Like, I barely understand it in a video game.
Well, I know, like, you have your opinion too. That's like playing the game is practically like watching a movie.
Yes.
You run to one room, 30 minutes of cutscenes. Run to another room, 30 minutes of cutscenes. So you might be right. But
what's funny is, you remember when Sonic the Hedgehog used to have two competing shows at the same time?
Yes,
and one was for like little kids and one was for like young adults.
Yes.
And that young adult one was like amazing.
Oh, it was awesome.
Like, I have a feeling that this movie's going to be like the little kid one.
Yeah.
And that's going to suck.
All right, I've got the movie that needs to get made, or it's a game. They got to do a Metroid movie. I think that would just be awesome.
Yes.
I mean,
especially girls are very in right now.
Oh, yeah. Woo.
Oh, look at that. Mini Wingo coming in, raiding with 2 friends. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us tonight. Welcome to the Power Hour of Love. We're going to throw some love at you right there, and for all you beautiful friends coming to hang out with us. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you for the shout-out, Aurelia.
Well, I know we're running a little late tonight, but we have one more thing we just want to kind of talk about.
We do. I'm going to catch up on a bit of chat real quick.
I'll do it.
Ghetto Devil says, Mario Brother movie is amazing. There are parts of it that are super fun, I will admit. Like, it reminds me a lot of Resident Evil in the sense that neither one of them really seem to have anything to do with the game, but they're kind of neat on their own,
If you have a couple beers and watch Mario Brothers, I mean, it could be fun, A monkey.
No doubt. Yeah, let's get some raid hype in the chat down there for Mini Winko coming in hot like that. Thank you so much. I'm going to throw some emotes down there.
Do it. Let them have.
Pow, 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 pow. There you go. But let's see. Mod Squad says, dude, I loved Sonic so much as a kid. Yes. Which one did you like better? The little kid one or the young adult one?
Yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah. I mean, was it just the game that you liked? Because, I mean, Knuckles is the jam, but... All right.
There was
so
also
many memories on Sega. Yes.
There was also a Mortal Kombat cartoon that was on like USA.
Oh, really?
But it was pretty bad. It was kind of based around like the third game where like Shao Kahn has come to Earth and taken over.
Yes.
And there was only like 3 guys, and it was like I think it was Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and like Stryker. And I was always like, Stryker? Like, where's like, Sonya or something, But it just wasn't very good. It definitely wasn't meant to be a cartoon,
Yeah, super weird, man. Well, DJ Napalm says he thinks a Streets of Rage movie would be awesome.
Dude, that would, yeah.
Oh, how about a Double Dragon movie?
Oh, no, we don't need to go there.
Mod Squad says hit home on memory lane. Hey, DJ Napalm and J-Dog. Yep.
Dude, Streets of Rage would be an awesome film.
I'm talking the game. Yes, Knuckles was the jam. Yeah, dude, Knuckles was so dope.
That's awesome, man. No,
J-Dog also said Mega Man he thinks would make a great film.
I think that
I
would
agree
be
with
good.
that as well.
Absolutely.
Especially if they have the Protana Man.
Yes, do the soundtrack. There you go.
Yes.
Hey, sometimes, like we said, a soundtrack can make a film, man. Mortal Kombat.
Dude, look, Ghetto Devil says, I was legit watching the Mortal Kombat cartoon last night.
Really?
What are the odds?
we might have to get that link of where you kind of got your eyes on that, because I'd love to rewatch that now.
Yeah.
And like, because I remember even as a kid, I'm like, what the hell is this? It's funny. There's been a lot of Mortal Kombat media. There was actually an old show on TNT that only went for like a season. I remember I used to watch it before, like Monster Vision, and it was like, it was a live action show, and they were trying to make it like, oh, this is like Mortal Kombat. It wasn't very good. There was also kind of like an early CGI cartoon that you could rent at the video store, but the same thing. That was like a one-off kind of thing, But yeah, it's funny that they've never really seemed to get it to stick. Like even the movies. The first one was good, made money, and then the second one was just like, people were like, that was garbage. And also on the second one soundtrack, it was like they replaced like the industrial and the techno with like Megadeth and like some like more metal stuff, and I'm like,
dude, Ghetto Devil's like, it's awful.
It's awful.
It's awful.
I never thought differently for a moment, but I would just love to see it. Like I think it would be like, it would
when
be
you revisit some things as a kid, sometimes it's a lot of fun. But speaking of things when we were a kid, last but not least, Senior Bowl wanted to talk a little bit about what it was like kind of when this all first came out.
Well, definitely, like Life was saying earlier, like being in the, at the arcades and stuff like that. Every mall, had an arcade or a movie theater. Had these cabs set up, man. And just I remember walking through, and I remember first seeing Street Fighter, and be like, oh, that's cool, man. It's like a fighting game and stuff. Yeah. But the first time you saw Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I mean, there was just a mob of people around it. And he had that one dude who was probably worked at the place, so he had all the codes and stuff. I mean, he was just kicking ass, and then he did the fatalities. You just watched this guy, and you're just like, oh, man, he had just the quarters lined up on there. But, dude, when you got your Nintendo Power or EMG or whatever magazine you read, and you saw that Mortal Kombat was coming to the home consoles, you were like, I got to have it. You're like, how am I going to convince my parents to let me have this? And I remember I rented it, and I rented the one for Super Nintendo, and it had no blood.
Oh,
it had no blood. Like, I mean, even they had fatalities, but they were really weird. Like, Sub-Zero would grab you, and then he'd just like hold up nothing, and you'd be on the ground. But the Sega Genesis version, you could put in the blood code.
Yes.
Which I'm sure Mr. Fusion could throw down in there.
I think Life Reboot posted about it earlier.
Did
I saw.
He?
Yeah.
Did he put it in there? Did he put it?
I don't know if he wrote. I don't think he put the actual code.
Oh, if you guys know it, throw it down in there, because you had to throw it in there, and you went, ah! You heard the thing scream, and then you got all the blood, all the fatalities and stuff, and it was just badass, man. It was so wild, and the fact that you knew, like, when you were watching those games, you're like, man, this probably isn't really something I should be seeing, but it was just that level of excitement that you're just like, I gotta have it.
Look, Life Reboot's taking a shot. ABACADABA.
I know me and Mr. Fusion were just talking about that, so but I think that's it. Yeah, because doesn't it spell something? Abba.
Ghetto Devils has got Abacab.
Abacab. That's it. That's
the
it.
Abacab?
Yeah, the Abacab. That's
okay.
what it was, man. And yeah, it was just so cool.
See, Life Reboot's got Abacadabra.
Abacadabra.
It sounds like magic.
Now that would be cool. That's probably some other code that like let you do some other wild things. I mean, that game was loaded with a lot of secret stuff. Yeah. Like you do matches in a certain way or not block and stuff, and then stuff would fly by the moon. Like you'd see like a little Peter Pan silhouette. Like I think that's how you got to Reptile.
Nice.
Like you had to wait till the pit stage had a certain thing float by the moon and then not get hit or something. Like it was some crazy thing. You're like, how did anyone ever figure this out? Now let me ask you though, man. Sure. I mean, obviously I saw it in the arcades. I had it on the console, which because we fired it up that one. Mm-hmm. What was your first experience with Mortal Kombat?
Oh, definitely playing it in the arcade.
Okay.
Definitely 100% playing it in the arcade and being like, wow, this is like pretty intense. But again, just getting my butt kicked, so I didn't have a super ton of ambition to go out and get it. Because I'm very much more of a comic book fan and a film fan. Mm-hmm. Like I was constantly that person getting burned buying video game adaptations of movies that were terrible. So I had like the Total Recall game, the RoboCop game, the Terminator game that were all terrible. They're just really bad games, really kind of cash grabby games. Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, these games that were like, not fan. Like Back to the Future is probably one of the weirdest game adaptations like ever. But eventually getting into the Sega Genesis era and stuff like that, I'm sure that I got my hands on some Mortal Kombat because that was my preferred fighter of choice over Street Fighter, Eternal Champions, anything like that. Kombat, it was always the go-to to have Mortal Kombat around.
Oh man, Eternal Champions. We could do a whole episode on that one.
That was
a
cool
fun
game.
one.
It was.
But like you said, that's what it was. It like opened the floodgates, man. Then you got Primal Rage, and like you said, Eternal Champions. Like everyone had to make some sort of a fighter where people were just bleeding all over the place. But yeah, dude. And then of course, then the sequels came out. Mortal Kombat 2 and stuff. But nothing really matches that when that first exposure that you had in the arcades and pumping quarters and just seeing some, like I said, like he was always some weirder dude, it was just kind of like how does this guy
guy that would come in and was just like,
yeah,
just destroy you.
Yeah, the wizard, he
Yeah.
was just in there freaking rocking and rolling, and but it was just so cool to see, and you just sit there and wait and watch.
Yeah, you just awe in that guy. You're like, wow, dude, how does he know? How does he know?
I definitely got to give my folks some credit too. I mean, I had older brothers and sisters and stuff, so I was kind of later in the game, but they were like, while all these other parents were freaking out and being like, you can't be exposed to that stuff. They're just like, well, there's movies that are kind of like that, and he seems pretty well stable. So, as long as he doesn't start showing any signs of,
Well, look, Life Reboot says, yes, I remember it reminded me of Abracadabra, but it is the Abacab. Good show, Ghetto Devil. So good props to you, Ghetto Devil. Mini Winko says, I never played Mortal Kombat. Oof, I played Street Fighter though. Hey, that's all right, man. I'm a Blanca man myself with that. Like a million fists of fury out there. Life says Eternal Champions did overkills, which were like the pit deaths of Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
Posers. I hate posers. But Eternal Champions probably the hardest game to beat single player ever. Got to beat the Eternal Champion solo, and he has like 7 forms. Oof.
Wow.
Yeah, that's rugged, man.
Well, I was going to say, I remember like Eternal Champions had that dude that was like a gangster. Because that's right, they were all through time,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and his stage, like you knock the guy down and then the car pulls up and they just blast you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I did think the overkills were neat. The guy would fly into a fan or you'd burn on the stake or something. But yeah, like you said, like definitely Mortal Kombat kind of set that stage, and then all these other ones were like, we got to...
yeah, everyone's playing catch up to the
Killer Instinct. That was the other one that
wasn't Killer Instinct the one that did all with claymation?
I remember Clay Fighters. You remember that?
That's probably what I'm thinking
Fighters.
of. Clay Fighters. Yeah. Well, that's going back a minute.
We could probably sit here and talk all night about awesome old games, but that's why we got future episodes. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for participating in this nostalgia road ending of the show.
Absolutely, guys. And look at how many amazing viewers we got out there still hanging with us, man. Thank you guys so much for spending the evening with us, having some fun through Game of Thrones to Endgame to the PoDunk news and down here with Mortal Kombat. We are going to raid a friend right now. We're going to throw some love out there, so make sure to get your emotes ready to throw down in the chat if you got them, or just some regular love, some Twitch emotes, whatever you got. Let them know that the Power Hour is sending you over and helping spread some love out there, guys, and we'd super appreciate it. And thank you so much for all of the bits and subs and follows tonight. You guys are truly, truly amazing. Heck yeah, let's get some raid hype in there.
Woo!
And, thank you for the raids, Mini Winko, ASF Klops, man. Thank you guys so much for coming in hot and throwing some attention our way. We absolutely appreciate it. But I know that our wonderful moderator out there, Aurelia, that she is super excited for all of those subs and bits tonight that are going to be going over to her charity campaign for Player versus Hunger. It's an amazing cause. We thank you guys so much for donating here at the Power Hour of Love, so that we can support her as well. And congratulations again to her on her achievement for linking up with Player vs. Hunger, for having such a good stream that she became the first person they've ever followed, and for being able to have this opportunity now to partner with them and continue to work with them and hopefully do some even more amazing charity stuff than what she's been doing, which is pretty amazing to say because what she's been doing has been pretty spectacular so far. If you haven't had a chance to check her out yet, I'm going to throw down her.
You got to do it. Put it in.
Yeah, I'm going to throw down her link right there. There you go. She's our master mod out here, Aurelia. Head over to her page. Make sure to throw her a follow. And at any time you like, you can either throw a donation through our donation panel or through hers to be able to donate directly to the charity Player vs. Hunger this month or next month. She may even pick different charities because she seems to pick different ones all the time. But everything she does on her channel, she does for charity. She's an amazing streamer, an amazing gamer, wonderful person with a great personality. You're going to love hanging out at her channel, so we highly, highly, highly recommend it. And since she's hanging out with us in the chat down there, do you mind kicking us over to Nubbins Inc.? And we're going to go check out some Rainbow Six. Do you think that sounds like fun, guys? What do you think? I think it sounds cool. Let's get over there. Let's spread some love, and it should be a good time. He's a super lot of fun, and that channel's fantastic as well, so I think you guys will get a kick out of it.
Can't wait, man. Yeah, I think it's going to be a blast. We'll be back next Monday with Power Hour of Love, but then also Wednesday night with Game Night, man. So we look forward to hanging with you guys, and we'll catch up with you later.
Yeah, don't say goodbye just yet.
I'm not doing it.
Okay, all right. I was going to say, yes, next Monday night we may have a special guest in studio. I know Senior Bull is going to be out of town, so we may have a special guest in here, guys. We'll keep you posted on who that might be because it's going to be a super ton of fun and very exciting. So we do want you guys to come back here next Monday night, 9 p.m. Should be a super blast. This Wednesday, like Senior Bull said, we also have our game night. We'll be playing some games and having some fun out that way. But either way, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Thank you for all of your contributions to the charity and to supporting the Power Hour of Love. Let's get out there and spread some love. What do you guys say?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.